No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world, and we are back. My man Remo's in the building, and we are talking to the one and only, the OG of the media game, Vlad TV in the building. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
Hey, every day something new.
Yeah? What's it today? Any updates?
No, nothing too crazy.
Yeah?
Nothing too crazy. It was an interesting week with the whole TMZ, Nicki Minaj thing.
Oh, they hit you up? You were interacting with them about that as well?
Well, they hit me up. So
Okay.
TMZ reached out to me to do an interview, which was kind of cool because I've done TMZ before, but never like with Harvey.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It's always been like, I think Van Lathan like interviewed me last time.
Right.
But actually being on the air with Harvey, that was kind of cool. And I made some comments about Nicki Minaj in the process, and she responded
with the acronym.
But
Very little albino dick, which has honestly kind of become a meme in my household. My girl keeps saying that to me. If I do anything whack, she'll just be like, very little albino dick. And it actually took her a day to realize that it was an acronym for Vlad.
Oh, really?
She did not realize that at first. She was saying, she thought that I thought that it was funny, unrelated to you.
Oh, she didn't spell it out. I think it went over most people's heads because no one, a couple of the barbs were like talking shit online, but very few compared to like the number of barbs she has, and the following that she has on Twitter, and the fact that people kind of covered that a little bit, like TMZ covered it and so forth, and I reposted it. I just responded, LOL. I couldn't think of a good comeback.
I feel like the barbs are greatly diminished, or at least they've kind of like stood down. They've tossed their weapons to the side, because I think even the hardcore barbs are realizing this woman is deranged. She's disrespecting these kids. Cardi B is the more likable one. They might hate Cardi B, but I think like even them, that there's a lot of stuff here that they don't really want to be dying for.
Yeah, she was talking about Cardi's kids' gums.
Yeah.
Like, they're so nasty.
Banging spoons together. Basically, like that's what girls do. Guys kill each other or make fun of your dead homies, but then girls make fun of each other's children. At least in this world, I guess, because I don't really know any women who do this in any other lane of life.
But to be fair, Nicki, Cardi did mention the kid first in this one.
Oh, she did?
She said, all right, so Cardi B said, Nicki Minaj, it's your son's birthday. You're having all this attention to me. Like, you need to pay attention to your son for his birthday. And then that's when Nicki spiraled into what she was saying.
But I mentioned this on TMZ. I don't know whether this was true or not, but I had made a tweet a while back. Remember when Nicki offered like $10 million for Des Bryant to box her husband?
Yeah.
And I made this tweet. I said, yo, Des, guaranteed $10 million. Here's how you do it. Host a fight at Chuck E. Cheese.
And did she respond to that or no?
Well, no one responded, right? It kind of became viral in its own way, right? Because her husband is a registered sex offender and I think is not able to go to places like Chuck E. Cheese, right?
Right.
So when Cardi was like, yo, you're beefing with me, it's your son's birthday, why don't you take him to Chuck E. Cheese or something? I almost felt like those two were connected because I think it probably hit Cardi's radar.
Yeah.
I don't know because me and Cardi or me and Nicki don't talk, but that was sort of what I referenced when I was on TMZ. I'm like, I almost felt like Cardi was kind of referencing the Chuck. Out of all those places in the world to take a kid to, she said Chuck E. Cheese. So I don't know. It is or it isn't, but I kind of mentioned it again, and that's when she did the whole acronym thing.
So do you feel like are you actually a committed Cardi B stan, or is this just an example where you see Nicki's behavior and it grosses you out and you feel like you got to say something?
Yeah, I just think Nicki's unhinged.
Yeah.
Right? I was blocked, but now I'm unblocked.
What?
Really?
Really?
It was weird because I just checked. Because before I was blocked. I remember I even posted. I'm like, oh, Nicki blocked me. That's interesting.
Oh,
but then when I looked at that tweet and I looked at her account, I'm unblocked.
Really?
So I guess she unblocked me.
That's strange.
I've interviewed her back in the day.
Yeah.
She knows who I am.
Yeah.
Right? So I like Cardi. I've interviewed Cardi before. Right? I've interviewed both of them before.
Right.
To be fair.
To be fair, they both changed up on you once they got huge.
That happens.
Yeah, that happens. We're all used to that.
I
Yeah.
don't cry about that. But I'm not a huge Cardi fan. I really am not a huge fan of female rap, period, just to be honest. But out of female rap, I like Cardi's more than most of the other girls. But just a nasty behavior. And I think, what really kind of annoyed me was, I think Tasha K tweeted something about how remember her brother was convicted of molesting his stepdaughter?
Yeah.
And Tasha said something that the effect of, oh, the kids were, prompted to say certain things and to try to get money out of Nicki. She's like, yeah, they asked me for 20 million. She's basically, it was like a tweet responding to Tasha that basically inferred that her brother is not a monster, was not molesting this little girl for like years, and it was really a shakedown.
Yeah,
that the family was trying to get paid off.
Was trying to get paid. So what if it was 20,000? Would she have paid it off? If it wasn't 20 million, what if it was 20,000?
I'm sure she's paid off plenty of other lawsuits to make them just go away.
Yeah,
and that doesn't change the fact that your brother still did what he did.
He was convicted. And look, when it comes to shit like this, because I've researched these types of things, like a kid can't say, "Hey, this man molested me. Go arrest him." No, they will sit there with PhDs, with psychologists. The brother allegedly saw the molestation happen, so the brother was interviewed. It was a whole these types of things. Because think about it, every woman would be like, "Oh, my baby daddy molested my kids. Go throw him in jail." Like everyone would do that,
and
right?
everybody knows that have an extremely low chance of actually being prosecuted, extremely low chance of being convicted.
Unfortunately.
And as a result, I would assume that those same rules basically apply to this sort of thing.
You have serious child psychologists that will sit down and figure out whether these kids were coached or whether it actually happened.
Right.
Multiple kids that got in front of a jury. He was convicted unanimously and given 1 million years as he deserves. And she's trying to say, "Oh, he didn't do it. She's still trying to say it was a shakedown and that never happened when he's sitting in jail right now."
And most guys who get accused of molesting a kid don't have a millionaire sister who's going to foot the legal bills. I'm sure
Which she did.
I'm sure his legal defense was so much better than almost anyone else who gets accused of this sort of thing, and he still got convicted.
Listen, if one of my friends or relatives did some shit like that, I'm washing my hands of it.
Yeah, you can burn.
Yeah, no, listen, I had a friend from college that I found out is now a registered sex offender, and I'm cool.
Do you know the details of how it went down?
Yeah, he was trying to sell some R. Kelly tapes and stuff like that, on the dark web.
Like the actual R. Kelly tape, or R. Kelly style tape?
No, like an R. Kelly.
Okay.
The actual underage tape.
Right.
I'm saying, and I think some. I think it was and I'm not totally sure about this. I'm not going to say his name, but remember Tracy Lords back in the day filmed a bunch of. This is kind of before your time, before my time too. So there was this actress named Tracy Lords who became this big star, and then it was found out that she was filming at 16. So all the tapes got pulled off the shelves. She went on to do movies like Johnny Depp and stuff like that. She kind of crossed over a little bit, but there were these tapes of her from when she was underage. I think he was trying to sell some of those, and then his house was raided by the feds and he was arrested, and now he's a registered sex offender. When I found that out, I said, well, me and him aren't going to talk anymore. Yeah, that's it.
So did you actually have the conversation with him, or you just ghosted him?
Someone I know. We have a mutual friend. There's a crew of us in college.
Okay,
right. So a mutual friend that still knows both of us told me, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, never mind. He ain't coming over.
He's not good.
I'm cool. I can't be around that. I can't. I don't want to be around that. I can't be around that.
And any sense that you really had a connection or knew this person is kind of out the window, and it's really going to make you feel like whatever I felt like our connection was before. Apparently, you were lying about a very significant other part of your life, so everything else is probably capped too, right?
You're a registered sex offender. It's a whole different story now with you.
Yeah.
This is not. We can't just pick up where we left off. Not that we haven't really seen each other in about 20 years anyway. So it's not like this is a close friend, but I was cool, man. So I'm surprised that Nicki's still trying to basically stand up for her brother, who's hopefully never getting out.
Yeah, you would think that would be something that she would just kind of accept the mainstream narrative, and instead
my brother's a monster.
Yeah,
and that's not the person I knew growing up. And I hope that his time in jail rehabilitates him, and maybe at some point he can enter back in society and not do these types of things again.
Yeah, definitely.
The end.
Jesus. Okay, so another topic that is super late breaking, and this is probably one of the most unique ways that I've ever seen somebody get exposed for snitching. But basically, there was an FBI agent who made a TikTok talking about a case that he was involved with many years ago. And we could play the clip if you'd like. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the guy's name because he's pretty famous. And to be fair, he was never charged with a crime. But we had these two rappers in Atlanta in the early 2000s, and they were beefing with each other, trading diss tracks, the whole thing. Then rapper number one, the famous one, orders his goons to go beat up rapper number two and steal this gaudy gold and diamond necklace he wore in all of his videos, and that's where it got interesting. The goon squad shows up at rapper number two's place. He pulls a gun and starts shooting. One of the attackers gets hit and makes it about 200 yards away from the house before he drops dead. Rapper number two is arrested for murder, but it's dismissed as self-defense. And the real criminal here is rapper number one, who ordered the violent act that got his man killed. I had the phone records and two witnesses prepared to testify for what would have been a rock-solid RICO murder case. But for reasons that were never explained to me, the U.S. Attorney's Office declined prosecution, and rapper number one went on to have a phenomenally successful career. Oh well, win some, lose some.
Okay, wait, I don't understand.
I'm not going to say the guy's name because he's pretty famous.
Wait, so I don't understand. Where is the snitching part in the statement?
So basically, the allegation is that
He's talking about Jeezy and Gucci,
right? And Blue Da Vinci has kind of confirmed as well that there was this sort of like eerie switch up from Jeezy, where when the BMF takedown went down, that Jeezy at that point like ceased to have anything to do with BMF, never communicated with any of them ever after that. And so he's basically saying that they had, in his opinion, a rock solid case against Jeezy for the Gucci situation in which Pookie Loc got killed, but that was never pursued by the FBI, and that his best guess is basically that it was in exchange for Jeezy supplying information about BMF.
I missed that last part.
Okay, yeah.
Where is that last part?
You kind of need to connect the dots with like prior videos. There's like a Blue Da Vinci video where he goes into depth about how he feels very strongly that Jeezy snitched. And so that guy kind of like puts the details of it together of what his incentive to do so might have been, since Jeezy was the only one associated with BMF that basically ended up getting to skate free.
Well, what about there was multiple guys that went into that house?
Yeah, and I interviewed one of them, Young Throwback, who claimed that Gucci Mane, or I interviewed the guy who claims that he's the one who pulled the trigger and killed Pookie Loc.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Pookie Loc was with someone else. He wasn't by himself.
Yeah, it was like two people that ran inside the crib.
So maybe the people who were cooperating were the two people that were part of the home invasion, and they were going to cooperate against Jeezy. You see what I'm saying? That's what I kind of implied from that.
The reason people think that this guy's implying that Jeezy actually did it, because in the comments, the two comments that he actually replied to was someone saying that the theory of the reason that Jeezy never got locked up was because of him providing evidence to the feds about the BMF shit. And that the guy who made this TikTok, he liked that theory, and then he's like, interesting theory. So people just speculating that that's why. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not like really just proven, but it's just the theory of like.
And it always did seem sort of bizarre that all this shit went down in front of our eyes, where Gucci basically ordered this situation that ended up in a murder, and that it was never pursued. I mean, even as like a real young rap fan, that always stood out to me. I was like, how the f are they not pursuing that?
I mean, when it comes to situations like this, to convict someone of a murder for hire, it's a little tricky, especially when people are not cooperating. You see what I'm saying? So you need to get a unanimous, you know, like the Hernandez Govan trial. They had a whole bunch of stuff set up. Yeah, they knew each other. They were talking, this, that, and the third. Oh, there was a reason. There's this or that. Jury came through with not guilty an hour later. It was like, there's no case here. So nobody wants to go into trial unless they have a rock solid case. Like, for example, like the whole David, you know,
you've been paying attention to that?
Murder. I've been paying attention to that. Yeah. And it appears like they don't really have a way to tie him into the murder. There's circumstantial things. Yes, he knew her. She was underage. She was mentioned. There was a live stream. But how do you go from that to a chopped up dead body in your car? You have to really prove it, especially when the person has money and has lawyers. And at the time, Jeezy had money. It just might not have been a strong enough case. So you just leave it as a cold case, hoping maybe at some point someone comes forward and brings some new information and so forth, because it could be a cold case for 20 years. They might still, you know, if Jeezy really was responsible for that, they could still charge him next week, like whatever. I hope they don't, but people like to be armchair lawyer all they want, but when it comes to real trials and real cases, you got to really have your ducks in a row.
I mean, we've seen a lot of people get exposed for snitching in a variety of different ways. Like 1090 Jake feels very, very strongly that Larry Hoover told, and a lot of the proof is based on a 1964 newspaper article. Now we've got a former FBI agent who basically is just creating TikTok content and is probably going to get like $2 to $3 from the Chinese government as a result of putting this theory out there. So he might actually, we're really like not sure how this is going to play out or how much people are going to turn on Jeezy or whatever. Obviously, he's kind of in the.
I don't think
the main.
Anyone's going to give a shit.
You don't think?
I don't think anyone's going to give a shit. Honestly,
I mean, we've seen so much evidence of people not caring about snitching in general that at this point that it's kind of easy to imagine people leaving it alone.
But he's also sort of at the tail end of his career.
Yeah,
I think in a way. That's not a shot at Jeezy. I just think that he's not the guy that's going to drop the #1 album next year when he drops. I think that his fans will like it, and I think it'll chart somewhere. And there might be, depending on who he gets on a song, like let's see, he gets Jay-Z for a feature, it might get kind of big, but it won't be. This is not the next J. Cole album. This is not the next Drake album. I think people watch Jeezy to listen to all the songs they liked 20 years ago.
Do you think that was a conscious decision on Jeezy's behalf to like kind of fall back from rap?
From rap? I mean, he's still touring all the time.
But I'm just saying, as like dropping new projects and actually trying to be like that guy. It doesn't seem like he hasn't.
Whoever does that well into their 40s, it almost never happens.
He's probably pushing 50 at this point. I think it just is what it is. You accept the reality of your age and the audience.
I think that like if you're a committed enough young Jeezy fan that you're still going to go to his show in 2025, you're probably not going to really care about this snitching allegation. Maybe if like the most rock solid proof ever came out, it could make a dent. I feel like the respect from your peers and how many other people are willing to work with you is probably something that would be more tangible when it comes to somebody like Jeezy, because obviously like he's been successful music-wise. The odds of him ever having like a big hit record are less than 1% ever going forward. Yeah. But ultimately, Jeezy's kind of isolated as well. Like I can't really think of that many rappers that are really around him or that he would be working. I'm sure he could. The question is just if they would not going forward because of this type of thing.
I mean, he's not like a little baby that's still in the mix and still with all the hottest. He's not like a Kendrick at this point. I think Jeezy's Jeezy, and I don't think really anyone gives a shit at this point. I don't think anyone really gives a shit at all, including him.
For sure, there's never been a better time to be a snitch, because 20 years ago, if you had this kind of accusation, I feel like it might be enough to do you in. And at this point, it just sort of blends into this backdrop of so many other people having cooperated in a variety of ways.
I look at this as just another version of being canceled. And you could only be canceled if you just decide to just fall out of the public eye and stop putting out content, whether it's music, videos, art, whatever else. Gunna said, I'm just going to go and start working. I'm not going to talk about it. He hasn't done a single interview about it. He hasn't done a single interview since he got locked up. But he dropped big songs, big albums, does big shows, and look what happened. It's
crazy that Young Thug was down to buy Gunna 50,000 sales on the Billboard charts and didn't do the same thing for himself.
Yeah.
The spotlight is kind of on him, so it might not have been a good time to do
Thug
so.
He's on a whole apology tour. He's doing all types of like kind of sort of podcasts that are more like street oriented to try to sort of have a cosign from another street guy saying, "Oh, it's cool, man. You didn't snitch. We good. Just do my podcast. I'll tell everyone it's okay."
Yeah, he did hit like a lot of the sort of validated spokespeople in Atlanta in particular with Big Bank and Loon and everything.
Right. Yeah, man. Come do Vlad TV. If you really want a big interview, me and Young Thug would go ballistic.
Right. But do you think that
this is no shot at who he's done?
For sure. But would you ask him, would you go into it intending to make him uncomfortable by asking these questions? Or because I honestly feel like the reaction in hip hop has been pretty good compared to how it felt when it was really going down. It feels like not that many people are turning their back on him.
Well, I mean, his first album coming back did not go as big as Gunna's album.
Yeah.
So you could say it has no reaction, but the numbers say otherwise.
But also the music wasn't as good.
Well,
the music was kind of trash.
It was rushed.
But it's all a combination of that.
But does it not make you question Gunna's album sales when you find out that Thug was, conspiring to buy him album sales in the background? Which at this point, I'm going to be honest, I am so suspicious of so many different rappers. And in addition to that, I'm so suspicious of a variety of different podcasters and YouTubers as well.
I think that you could play with the numbers here and there, but you can't say like Kendrick's Not Like Us wasn't a huge song.
No,
Bots
for
or
sure.
otherwise.
Yeah.
Songs take off on their own, and you see the reaction. You see how people react to them at shows, at clubs, when DJs are playing it. A hit song is a hit song. Like Drake's last album, Party Next Door, had some hit songs. Like Somebody Loves Me, it was a hit song. You see it, you literally see it in front of you. Now, did it have a few bots to help out? Maybe, but
hip hop at this point is so insular. Like you could be a huge artist with your fan base and then have the mainstream of hip hop have absolutely no idea who you are, which is the case with David, where it's like, and I'm suspicious of him.
But he's an R&B singer though.
Well,
he's not a rapper. No, he's not a rapper.
Do we consider him a rapper, right?
More R&B.
Okay, it's more like that. I'm gonna be honest, I still have yet to hear one song.
I've heard some of his stuff. I mean, I went back and listened to it. He's a singer.
Yeah,
he's not a rapper. That's why we don't know about him.
Right, but in addition to that, though, like I feel like somebody like David, I'm looking at his Instagram this morning. He has many hundreds of thousands of likes on every single post and like 200 to 300 comments. I post stuff that will get 5,000 likes and it'll have 3,000 comments or 300 comments. Sorry.
Depends on the post.
I feel like
Depends on the post.
When I look at his Instagram, it is the obvious example of somebody who's buying engagement.
I mean, there's probably some numbers, like the numbers might be a little fake.
Right.
But at this point,
that's the least of his problems.
Yeah, that's the least of his problems.
The craziest thing about it too, is that if this girl didn't show up dead, I mean, his fans, when you see the stuff that they were talking about in his comments and his Discord, etc., it was like pretty much an open secret that he had been with this underage girl for a long time. Like his fans, if anything, seemed to think that it was kind of amusing.
Well, do they know how old she was?
It seems
I don't
like
think so, because I remember seeing a statement from the Discord
Uh-huh.
that basically said that we didn't know who she was. We had mentioned it, but the Discord stuff goes by really quickly, so you don't really know.
Right.
You're not keeping track of every comment that's happening. They knew of her, but they thought that she was like a college girl.
But there's like the fans.
When you look at her, it's not like she's obviously her age. She could be.
She could pass.
And
18, 19.
To be fair, he's very young as well. So it might not have looked that crazy to the fans at the time. But I mean, from my perspective, it's like there was a lot, like you got to watch Ross did like a documentary about this where he really breaks it all down in like quick fire succession. And he basically shows how there was like people making videos about him paying off local teenagers that knew about it so that they wouldn't make TikTok content about it. I feel like he saw... Like, I feel like he was so young when he started to achieve success that he didn't realize how bad with this girl was going to up his life and his career. And then he started to realize at a certain point, I'm not saying that means that he killed her, because I've heard a lot of people say that like it might have been a drug overdose, which would kind of explain why the police have a hard time figuring out the cause of death.
She was dismembered.
I think dismembered has like kind of an open-ended definition though. I don't think that necessarily means they like chopped her body up.
Well, okay. He has the same car I have, a Tesla Model X.
Right.
Same color too.
And not a good car because it's covered in cameras. Not a good car if you're going to murder someone.
Number one is covered in cameras, but number two, I believe she was in the frunk. Right?
Yeah.
The front trunk.
Yeah.
The frunk. Right?
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Just hearing you say it was pretty
front.
The front.
Because there's really no trunk. It's like a hatchback. Yeah. So there's 2 rows. There's really 3 rows of seats.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then like a little trunk area, but it's not like a closed off trunk. So the only closed off area is this front trunk, this frunk, which is really, there's no possible way you can get a human being inside of that unless you chop it up.
Oh, it's that small?
No, it's that small.
Oh, okay.
No, it's really small. Like there's no 100-pound girl couldn't crawl inside it and you can close it.
Okay. Because she probably was like 100. Like she was very young, very small.
That's why I'm saying 100-pound girl, there's no, it's only about this high. It's about this high and about this wide. Okay, so think about it. About like maybe, it's not as big as this table.
Yeah,
right.
So how do you get it? You'd have to somehow And then if she's in the front trunk, like someone put the body there,
Someone had.
chopped up or otherwise, you can't get yourself into a frunk. There's no possible way.
Right.
And even if she did, the car was on the side of the road. Like it was on a street. Like who drove her there? Like there is a second person involved somehow. She did not put herself there. It's not possible. So what the f happened? Who did it?
When you see that he hired allegedly like Harvey Weinstein's former attorneys, okay, so that doesn't seem like a smoking gun to you?
No, not at all. You have a very high profile. He had to cancel his whole concert.
Yeah.
His whole tour. I mean,
whole tour canceled.
He canceled his tour. Everyone in the world thinks that he did it. Yeah, you got to protect yourself.
Right.
Whether you did it or not, even if he did not do it, absolutely get a lawyer. You crazy?
Right.
His house was raided by the police.
Yeah.
They grabbed everything they could possibly grab. Why would you not get a lawyer, even if you did not do it? You absolutely want a lawyer. You'll f around and say the wrong thing. Next thing you know, that's the statement that ends up getting you convicted.
Do we know that he has been interrogated by the police? Though?
I don't know.
Not even that. We haven't even heard that he's talked to the police or have like sat down detectives talked to him. We do know that they came to his house and seized a whole bunch of stuff, but outside of that, that's all we know.
And a lot of people are like, oh, well, even if he didn't kill her, he was a. It's like, okay, well, they're not going to be able to put that case together in place of this murder act, and she's dead.
And they found out she wasn't pregnant. Because
Yeah,
that was the first.
That was the thing they were trying to say there.
He got her pregnant, so he killed her. No, she hasn't been pregnant within the last year. Is what they said. So basically, there's no proof she's ever been pregnant.
When this is all said and done, a lot of the stuff that we're taking as facts right now is probably going to seem like fake news because there's just been such a flood of stuff coming through.
Listen,
it's just really impossible to believe.
Involved in that somehow.
Yeah, it's just hard to believe that he's completely innocent. Because, like, all right, TMZ released
it's
recently.
Possible. It's possible he's innocent. It's possible.
Completely is kind of crazy.
It's possible. Okay, look, like, I'm not saying this happened, but let's just say we all look like I have, let's say, around a dozen people that I financially support, right? I completely, meaning that all the money they get comes from me, right? You take me away and now they're scrambling to try to find a new career,
benefactor,
income, whatever else, right? So you realize that this girl is going to put me in prison, so I'm never going to be able to give you any more money, and you don't have a plan B. You know how these entourage people like, oh yeah, I grew up with him. I dropped out of high school to be his road manager or whatever else. Like this is all you got. This person is all you got, and you know that they're up. And this person comes forward, that's it. David the will not go on tour anymore, right? As that, so you take it upon yourself to get rid of the problem for him without even telling him. It could happen. It could happen. It's not that crazy of a story. It could happen. These things do happen. You got, how you have these crews of people, like for example, you look at Tony Yayo, for example, right? Tony Yayo will shoot somebody for 50. I am knowing Tony the way I do, and seeing the history of those two together, I am fully confident that Tony will shoot somebody and possibly kill somebody if he felt that 50's well-being was in danger at that moment. Do you agree or disagree?
No, I agree.
So why is it so crazy that maybe David had a version of Tony Yayo in his crew?
Because I've met David, and the people that he's around do not seem like they're anything on the G Unit level.
Because you're talking about Tony Yayo, who is like the most street experienced person that you could understand or expect, besides maybe guys who have spent, a decade in prison. And then on the other hand, you have David, who from everything I've seen about him seems like he has almost no real world experience, and all this anime shit, all this music shit. It was kind of, to him, it didn't seem like he understood that the real world has actual consequences for your actions. He was living in this crazy internet world.
I don't know. Crazy doesn't just come from certain environments, right? All these like serial killers, they're not street guys. They're regular 2-parent home, went to college, or you know, got someone buried in their basement, you know.
The thing that's damning to him is like, all right, so at one point this was a chick that you were dealing with, and the fact that you didn't make it a thing to report her missing, and then your car.
Well, why would he report her missing though?
Because if you, at one point, if you're trying to clear yourself from any of the charges, and maybe somebody else did it, then maybe throw that out there like, hey,
really?
I haven't heard
from
this
her. Underage girl I'm dealing with can't find her anymore.
It's better than it's better than people thinking that you killed her though.
Do you see how bad this looks?
I give you that, but like the fact that you had your Tesla with her body in it and you're just like going on tour, it just seems like there's no way that you're completely innocent from that. Look, maybe he didn't chop her up, but it's like,
look, obviously what everyone's thinking is that he killed her, right? That's the obvious assumption, but the fact that he's not been arrested, and clearly the police are assuming the same thing, they wouldn't raid his home and they wouldn't seize his computers, they wouldn't, you know, go through the car and do all this investigation if they didn't think that he did it, but they got to figure out who did it.
Yeah, they had enough probable cause to raid his house and go through all his shit, but not enough to arrest him.
Right.
And think about how much evidence they now have going through his house. They're just
but maybe there's no evidence is the thing.
Yeah.
Maybe all there is yes, we've talked from time to time. Right? Let's just say you meet a girl, you just don't know her age. I don't know. Like I'm trying to like him talking to her is inappropriate. I get it, because but he's not that old, right?
20,
and she's what, 15? But
16, something like that.
So I think he was 17 when he met her, and she was 12.
Yeah.
But maybe he didn't know that in the beginning. And then as their friendship or whatever they had developed, it's like, oh, okay, well, I didn't realize you were that age or something. I mean,
but he moved her out to California relatively recently.
He moved her out?
I don't know if he moved her out, but he got her to come to California, flew her out or whatever.
She was a runaway.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing, is that she would run away from home a lot.
Lake Elsinore. That's where she ended up
problematic,
somehow.
a kid with a problematic home life, probably a bunch of crazy shit happening with her mom, dad, both step-parents.
It didn't seem like the parents were appropriately concerned with their daughter being missing.
It was a bunch of up shit, and maybe he's dealing with her, maybe it was an inappropriate relationship, maybe it's not. It's probably impossible to tell at this point, because she's dead, unless someone says, yeah, I saw David with her last week or something like that. It's a situation, and I'm hoping that something will happen. But then again, you see cases like the Draco murder that still is not solved, and there's how could this? Oh, of course, the killer's going to be caught. There's a million people there. There's all these. It's a public. It was a concert. It was this.
And that is an example.
How long ago was that?
5 years.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
My point.
But that is an example too, where the internet felt like they had solved it the next day.
Well, the police disagreed with the internet.
Yeah.
I'm sure the police looked through all the internet, detectives' work.
A lot of people still think that case is coming down the pipeline at some point.
It could happen. I think it'll only happen if someone came forward and said, this is who did it.
Yeah.
I saw that person. We talked about it afterwards. I'm willing to testify. Which could happen with a get out of jail free card. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, yeah.
So now the theory is that, all right, maybe David didn't kill her. Maybe she overdosed and he just dismembered her body.
That's not great either. But, you saw that one guy get away with that.
Apparently dismembering a body is a misdemeanor.
Well, is it?
That's what he told me earlier. I couldn't believe it when he said that.
What's the name of the guy? The billionaire who dismembered the body? You know what I'm talking about? HBO did a whole special on him. He ended up getting arrested after doing the interview. Someone help me out.
I can Google it real quick.
Netflix special on a billionaire.
No, it was HBO. It was HBO.
I feel like I'm going to feel stupid as soon as...
let's see. Durst?
Oh.
No, wait.
I didn't watch that one, but I remember hearing a lot about this.
Hold on.
Robert Durst?
Robert Durst.
Yeah, that was huge.
Robert Durst killed his next door neighbor and dismembered the body and got off in trial. Admitted to doing it and got off. But he claimed that he tried to kill him first and he fought back and killed him. And
maybe that's what I'll say. Little girl tried to kill me. I had to kill her. Self-defense.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Listen, I'm hoping, just of the horrific nature of this, that they do find whoever did it, whether it's David or someone else. Yeah. I am not trying to justify or say that he's innocent. I'm just saying that you have when it comes to law enforcement, the one thing that I've learned is that they pay attention to the headlines, to media coverage and so forth, and they prioritize those cases over the other cases.
Yeah.
Somebody, if this was just some random girl and some truck driver who allegedly killed her, the police would not put nearly the amount of resources as they're doing right now. You know, this is like the biggest murder case in entertainment right now. If you think about it, in the entertainment world, this is the biggest murder case that's happening, that's unsolved at this moment, and they haven't arrested him. Makes me think that they even said it's a very complicated case.
And even if this is in any way similar to the way that it seems, it might be like one of the craziest murder cases in the history of hip hop. It's like just such a bizarre situation.
Yeah.
We're so used to paying so much attention to fairly ordinary murders. Like the Young Dolph thing is like, yeah, it's interesting to find out who did it and everything, but ultimately a dude who's a street dude having his ops pull up and shoot at him is not that fascinating. This in comparison is just so difficult to figure out.
Yeah, this is bananas.
Yeah.
This is absolute bananas. I just want to take this moment to introduce my new weed strain.
Hey.
The Vlad TV. You know, I did with Presidential. This is a King Louis strain. This is my first weed ever. We smoked a little bit of it last time.
We did.
We now got the packaging. It's in 7 states.
You got a little too high. You left the pod early.
Oh, did I?
With the Traplo Ross one?
I had to go at one point. I had to go. I'd been there for like 4 hours.
Yeah. No, that was a challenging day in terms of just keeping your energy together after potting for that long. Yeah.
Right.
That's how you know it's up.
But so
we
where
smoking here?
Yeah. Go crazy, yeah.
Let's go.
Where do you think that this where is it available at this time?
It's in 7 states. It's in like California, Arizona, Nevada, I believe New York. Yeah, we're about to roll it out officially, about to start doing some promo around it, some in-stores and all that. But this is actually a product that I use myself. And you smoked it last time.
I did.
You got to really experience
it. It was powerful.
It was powerful.
Moon rocks.
Well, it's moon rocks. Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's not just a regular joint.
Yeah.
It's moon rocks mixed in with weed.
Yeah, and I got another interview after this. So I'm not going to be participating in this with you, but I respect it.
Me and you, Rebo?
Yeah. We on the moon rocks, man.
Let's go. Boom. You got an ashtray?
We can show this one right here, yeah. You ever see yourself becoming a drug purveyor of this sort?
Well, I mean, I smoke weed.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always smoked weed. I smoked weed since college, so.
But
this is really me.
I think at times you told me that it was a late night thing for you.
I never said that.
Not anymore?
No.
Oh,
I've never said that.
So you wake up in the morning and smoke?
Yeah, I'm a wake and baker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Smoke before you interview people?
Sometimes. Sometimes.
If it's a big interview, does that necessitate you not doing it?
Not really.
Really?
Yeah. Really, if I put in the work, I put in the work, high or not.
Yeah.
Right.
It just is what it is.
I feel like you being off camera might give you a little bit more confidence in that regard, because at least part of why I usually don't smoke before interviews is because I know that I look high as and I don't necessarily think that that's for the best.
I'm smoking right now, so
yeah.
And I'm on camera.
But you might end up, kind of floating at some point.
I'll be all right.
It happens.
I've been doing it. I'm an OG in this.
Some Zop.
Yeah. There we go.
I co-sign.
Vlad TV.
Do you see smoking as something that you're gonna leave behind as you get older at some point, or you think you're gonna?
I think if it starts to like affect my health.
Yeah.
Because it already affects my throat to a certain degree, but not to the point of me stopping. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm obviously. I've been smoking for so long.
My girl made me get a whole lung scan done, and I've
done that,
and I was thinking that if they tell me that I need to stop smoking, I'm going to stop smoking. Yeah. And then they told me I was fine, and I was like, okay, I'm back on it till the next lung scan, I guess.
Well, I'll tell you, I had a whole like physical and a whole blood test, and they told me that I was at the very bottom of the scale of being pre-diabetic.
Right.
Right, and that was scary. And he basically said, listen. You need to just lose weight. You lose weight, you'll get out of this range because you're at the very bottom of the range.
And this was recently?
This was like maybe a couple months ago.
Okay.
And if you look, like I'm 10 pounds thinner than when you saw me last.
Right.
Yeah, I'm taking this super seriously.
Yeah.
I'm like that. I do not want to be diabetic.
I mean,
I seen you tweet out that you said you just like a majority of the thing that you did was consume more water.
Yeah, I just started drinking water all the time because I think for me that the biggest problem was I would get through the day okay without eating too much, and then at night I would start getting the munchies.
Oh yeah.
And I would go down down in my kitchen. I'd get some ice cream, I get some lemonade, and then maybe get some chips. And before I know it, it's like I've added 1,000 calories in a short period of time. So I just started just drinking water all the time. And I realized that a lot of times when you think you're hungry, you're actually just thirsty.
Mm.
And I remember you used to always drink water all the time. You would bring the jugs with you. Yeah, you got one right there. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Damn. So you're supposed to drink 1 gallon a day.
I drink at least that.
That's a lot. But I'm trying to get there. But I've started noticing that, like, I'm getting thinner.
Yeah.
I'm not as hungry. And, like, I'm just not as hungry. But I'm drinking all the time.
That was one thing.
Yeah, it's been a game changer.
I got that from interviewing Chris Gotti, and we're talking about Irv Gotti.
Yeah.
And he's describing Irv Gotti as someone who really didn't have that bad of lifestyle. He had a personal trainer, had a personal chef, but still would around drinking or going out to eat and eating big ass meals and everything. And that was enough to basically give him the health problems that led to his death. And when I think about it, we know a lot of people who are not Dave Blunts. They're not like, like visibly going to die from their state of their health, but you can be a guy with a pot belly and what's going on inside your body is just as bad as somebody who's 350 pounds or whatever. It's like, especially as we get older, as you get into your 40s and 50s, it's just the most important thing is to stay on top of that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think he died eating Chinese food.
He did say that was kind of what triggered it. Yeah,
I love Chinese food. So.
Me too. That's one of my vices for sure.
I kind of like got the creeps when he said that. But yeah, I mean, look, we're not going to be around forever.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad lived to 84. I hope to at least get to that. Hopefully, longer, maybe 94 or 104 if I'm lucky. Technology is moving along, so hopefully there'll be certain things that do it. But I don't pretend like I'm 20 anymore. I don't pretend like I'm 30 or 40 anymore. I understand I'm 52. I'll turn 53 this year or next year, I mean. And I'm trying to be around. Like, life is dope. I really love my life. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to a lot of shit. So this whole YOLO lifestyle of not giving a shit, not really taking shit seriously. Me and Dave Blunts have had talks about this on camera.
Yeah.
And he's actually taken my advice. He started counting calories and so forth. But when you look at someone like a Dave Blunts, and this is what people, because I asked him how much he weighs, and he's like, I'm not going to say that on camera. He doesn't even want to say.
Because that's viral.
It's probably
that's a headline.
700 pounds, probably.
I would say at least 600, yeah.
Yeah, 600 to 700 pounds. In order, like, I really am, because I have OCD, right? I'll weigh myself like 20 times in a day. Like, I literally, I'm interested to see if I stop eating, how low my weight could go.
You take a shit, you want to see how much difference your weight is. It's so interesting. I hate it. Yeah.
And I have an app, right? So for example, let me show you something.
What, Happy Scale?
No, it's called MyFitnessPal.
Oh yeah, I got that too. Yeah.
But on MyFitnessPal, I'll show you. Come on. Updating, but like when it comes up, I'll show you. It actually shows, it keeps track of my weight at every level. So I could actually see. I don't know. I could see how I'm going down every day, but I could also see historically where my weight has always been. So I know that if I stop eating, I could lose a pound, maybe a pound and a half in a day. Well, there's no reception. That's what it is. But I know that when I eat a certain amount, my weight will go up. Dave has to eat just a massive amount of food to maintain his weight.
Yeah.
He has to eat probably 10,000 calories a day to maintain being 700 pounds.
Which is weird because you've been around him a bunch of times, as have I.
I've never seen him eat.
You never see him eat. So you wonder, like, what is that? Look, and I've had people in my life who are like that, who are like extremely overweight, and you never see him eat, and you just are forced to just wonder what this looks like. Like, what are you doing behind the scenes? But I mean, Ozempic really is a miracle drug. That's what Dave Blunt should get on at the very least to lose the weight, because I know people who have got on it and lost 100+ pounds over the course of a couple months.
Have you tried it?
I have not.
I've tried it.
Yeah. You did pretty well with it, right?
Not really.
No, you didn't like it?
I got down, okay, I'm at 205 right now. I got down to about 195 on it. But what it does, at least for me, I don't know about every single person, but what it does is like, imagine when you go to you have a really huge meal, you go to a buffet and just stuff yourself. And at the end of the meal, you're just like, yo, I can't eat anything else. I don't want dessert. I don't want to drink anything.
That's how I feel all the time.
You're like that permanently. you feel so full that you don't even want to think about eating.
Yeah.
It doesn't do any. It's not a miracle where it makes the fat go away. It makes you not want to eat, and maintaining your weight has to do with calorie intake.
What are side effects that you noticed actually from taking
Well,
it?
number one, you're always full, so you don't really have a good quality of life. You're just uncomfortable. And for me, I would become constipated for like a whole week. So I just wouldn't take a shit for like 6 days. On day 7, it would all come out. I spent the whole day on the toilet.
What the?
And then I'll start the whole process the following day.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, yo, I could, and all I really lost was about 10 pounds. It's not like I was obese to begin. If I was 300 pounds, I get it.
Yeah.
I went from like I was at 205 and I went down to 195. And I'm like, this ain't worth it. I could get down, and I'm at 205 again naturally. I think I can get down to 195 by just drinking water and counting calories and working out the way I've been.
So the side effects were that severe that you're like, yeah, it's not.
Yeah, no, it wasn't cool. It was, you got skinnier, but your life became shittier. You see what I'm saying? Like you just were not happy all the time.
Yeah. I know a lot of people who started out doing a lot of it, had weird health complications, their stomach was up, all this shit, and then have kind of transitioned to doing like much smaller amounts of it and kind of being able to pick and choose, like, oh, I feel like I ate too much this weekend, so now I'm going to take a little bit more. And it honestly seems like it's working out for everybody I know who's done that. Like, I think that smaller amounts is pretty good.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like I could do it on my own.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of weight on my own by counting calories and just paying attention to what I eat. Some workout. Now with water, it kind of stepped it up a bit. Like, I think I'm at 205 now. I think get down to 195, 190, maybe even a little bit lower. I remember when I was going through health problems when I was like in my 20s, I get down to about 165.
Oh, wow.
And that's because I wasn't eating very much.
I mean,
so I could do 165 again. Possibly.
One of the biggest predictors of how long you're going to live is just your weight.
Yeah.
And regardless of, like being extremely tall is bad for how long you're likely to live, because it's just your heart has to work harder. And then being extremely fat is even far worse. So, I mean, yeah, it's definitely imperative for all of us.
Yeah. I mean, name one obese 80-year-old.
Yeah, very.
Name an obese 70-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might see some 60-year-olds that are obese, but they probably don't have long to live.
Think about somebody like Big Boy who goes and loses many hundreds of pounds and literally just adds like a couple decades to his life.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, Big Boy would probably be dead by now.
For sure.
If he didn't do that operation.
Yeah.
That's the homie. Like, I'm saying this is a good thing.
He knows it.
Yeah. It's a good thing.
So, okay, you've been making a ton of noise. Probably your biggest interview of the year. The 6ix9ine one. Can we just get a little bit of the background information of what you were thinking? Because I think at one point you said that you wouldn't interview him because you thought he was a piece of shit.
Yeah. I mean, look, I was saying what everyone else was saying.
Right. We were all kind of caught up in the moment.
This guy have all these bloods around him. And look, I get it, right? I remember when I first started to pop and I had these various street guys around me and they would rough people up that were talking shit about me.
You were sicking my son on people in the club. Get him. Get cuh.
Yeah. I'm not going to deny that one. Right. But it was like, I quickly saw that this is a major disaster waiting to happen. Right. Like if you start to do this and you have these guys that start beating people up and because I never had anyone beat up, but I had these guys roughed up. Through one of my friends who was more than willing to do it. It was, these people are going to get seriously hurt, possibly killed. I'm going to be responsible for this shit. I'm going to have to pay everyone's legal bills. I'm going to get sued. I might go to jail myself. I'm going to lose money. I still have problems in the music industry from those situations. Like there's certain executives that were there that saw some of this unfold that still don't like me. You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, this is just all negative. There's nothing good that's coming from this. Now, granted, I'm not a rapper and I'm not out there trying to show everyone how tough I am. So, but still, I'm still a media person. So I get the overall stance of it. So you had this guy that was pushing his weight around and using this group of people that that he didn't grow up with. It's not like Bobby Shmurda, right? The Bobby Shmurda thing kind of makes sense. Even though he wasn't around, He got busted with a bunch of people that were all sincerely his friends, and they all grew up together. Tekashi got these guys later on when he started to pop. They all started to crowd around him, and he was using them to shoot at people, beat people up. All that he admitted on camera. Yeah. And then he took the stand on all of them, and I wasn't a fan of that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But time goes on. The interview got offered to me.
Who mentioned it initially?
Yeah, that's what I was
well, I have a guy named Mafi who does
Right.
a lot of bookings for me.
Got it.
You probably know who he is as well, right? So he could, I've been with Mafi for like 10 years in terms of our working relationship. He's got a ton of people, including like Boosie and some of my really big guests. So he pitched it to me, and I initially said no because the amount of money was too high, right? I never paid this much for an interview. And I was doing academic show.
And you're not going to say how much you paid him?
I'll say this.
I think you should not. So I back that because I feel like we don't want everybody to know what's possible.
I'll say this. It was more than Marlon Wayans wanted.
But besides the perpetual revenue percentage
I'll
split.
leave it just at that.
Okay.
It was more than what Marlon Wayans wanted.
Right.
Right. But in this case, I felt this really was a very serious interview that would really blow up. Whereas a Marlon Wayans interview would just be a cool interview with a known actor / comedian.
And to be fair, 6ix9ine for the last 5 years or whatever has been very much kind of not doing long form interviews, and especially not the kind of interviews that you do where you go into the depths and details of everything.
What I was gonna do, I knew was gonna be potentially big, but I wasn't gonna do it just because of the price associated with it. And I was doing an academic show, and I mentioned it to him as we were just hanging out. Afterwards, he was like, "Yo, man, you should do that shit." Like, you should, that's gonna be the biggest shit. You should do that shit. So I said, all right. So I agreed to do it without getting into too many details. There was just a problem with the logistics of it and some of the business around it, right? What we agreed on, he wanted to switch up after the fact. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to do it.
But he didn't have a problem with any of the questioning or anything.
No, we didn't. We never even got. That's never been a problem.
So he never forbid you from anything.
No,
okay, that's interesting.
The only thing, and this part's not out yet, he didn't want to talk too much about the case that he just got sent because he violated his probation. So he didn't want to talk too much. I mean, he talked about it, but he didn't want to say too much about it.
Where the feds raided his house and found coke and meth on a table.
Well, there's that
residue.
I don't know if it was meth. Well, anyways, I think it was pills that had whatever. But there was a whole thing of beating up the guy in the mall.
Yeah, that's
who allegedly threatened him with a gun.
Oh, really? He called him a snitch, but that was part of it. I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, it was like, from what he told me on camera was that the dude called him a snitch or whatever else, and then I guess he flashed his gun. And that's when they, I guess, jumped on him and attacked him. And then he went and reported the incident.
Yeah. So okay.
But okay. So what I want to say is this. So Tekashi wanted to switch the business up a little bit, before we actually did it. And I'm like, nah, I'm good, because now this is actually going to become even more expensive to do it this way. So I'm cool.
And you're in Miami to do it, which is another expense.
Well, yeah, I'd have to come to Miami and so forth. Yeah. So he circled back right around the time of all the Young Thug stuff, all the Young Thug snitching stuff. So he's like, okay, cool. He'll do the original deal of what you guys agreed on. And I'm like, all right, then I guess we good. We FaceTimed. We, established, shout out to his man, Don, who was really like the glue that held this whole thing together.
Okay.
This is like his DJ / right-hand man. Great guy. Very professional. 100%. He's the one that really made it happen, I think. So we agreed. I flew down to Miami. I mean, it was sort of crazy because the day before he had a show in Atlanta, and he decided to drive there and back.
Which I was trying to find evidence of him performing a show in Atlanta, and I couldn't find anything from 2025.
That's interesting.
Which I
never thought about that. But yeah,
I just wonder, like, who does 6ix9ine perform with in 2025 in Atlanta? Like, I never hear about him playing shows, so I was interested when I heard that.
Was it maybe a private booking, like someone's birthday party or something?
Maybe. ChatGPT does not know about any shows that have occurred in 2025 in Atlanta.
I'll ask him though.
Okay.
I'll ask him because we've been talking regularly since.
Oh, he's going to be a repeat guest.
Well, I don't know about that, but
I'm sure there's still more stuff.
We've established a real relationship because he was driving back, so the interview didn't start until 1 a.m.
Which I was kind of surprised that you, being 52, had the stamina to stay up till 1 a.m. to start an interview. That's pretty
I have
impressive to me.
Stamina to do anything.
No caffeine, no stimulants.
No, nothing.
Damn,
I don't even drink coffee.
that's
You
impressive.
literally never see me drink coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't take drugs outside of weed.
Okay.
So yeah,
No nap.
I may have taken a nap.
Oh, okay.
Possibly.
Got it.
Possibly. But yeah, it happened at 1 a.m. He drove all the way back. He'd gone off a 12-hour drive. We were actually at his house.
Right.
And his house is not close to Miami. It was like
Oh,
close to
interesting.
2 hours outside of Miami. I'm not
Oh,
gonna
I
say
didn't
where
know
it
that.
is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in a gated community and secure and so forth. But no, he invited me into the house. We actually got there before he arrived.
Okay.
But he had some people there that kind of let us in, and we set everything, set up and so forth. And he just said, "Do whatever you want to do, like you do you." And yeah, it was like I think about 3.5 hours that we spoke.
Okay.
The final interview, including all the B-roll, probably about 4 hours.
I seen you said you have 69 clips.
Yeah, I was joking a little bit. I think it's maybe
You're like
close
20 in
close
right
to
now.
40.
40.
I think we're about
Okay.
halfway done, and we're about 7 million views combined.
That's
Damn.
pretty insane. Yeah.
Yep.
So you think this will end up being a profitable exercise?
I think we're close to profitable. I think we're close to break even already.
Mm.
I eyeballed it. I think we're 80% of the way there.
What was your read on where it seems like he's at in life? Because at least for me, as somebody who was around him in 2017, 2018, or whatever it was, he's definitely changed a lot. He didn't used to drink. He says that in the interview that he never used to drink.
He was drinking.
Yeah, I know, but now he's drinking, and I'm just like kind of look at him like, damn, this is he seems like he's in a different place in his life where he's maybe partying it up a little bit.
I mean, obviously he was stressed out because
Mm,
I mean, we don't even know what's happening yet because the judge put him on house arrest,
okay.
but he's still going to be sentenced, so he might end up getting like 2 years.
Mm,
We don't know. So I think he's stressed out about going back to prison.
yeah.
And in prison, he's not going to be the most popular guy there because of
Yeah.
the whole snitching background and so forth. But then again, I don't know him from before.
Mm,
You know him, I don't. This was the first time. I mean, we briefly ran into each other at a strip club. I mentioned it in the interview. He doesn't remember it, but
yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
there's no reason for me to make that up.
I mean, that was at the peak of his fame and
Yeah.
success. So I could imagine that
Yeah.
almost nobody would be able to like really register with him at that time.
Right. He was meeting everyone like left and right. It was a crazy night. There was
Yeah.
tons of people, but I wouldn't lie about meeting him. Like, I mean, it's not
Yeah.
like- all I said was, we talked for a couple of minutes and that was that. But this was the first time we really got to hang out, talk. We talked about everything. He didn't duck anything. I think I personally, I mean, for me, it's the biggest interview. I think it's my my interview of the year.
Yeah.
When the dust settles, we'll see how other people take it, but it's getting a lot of views right now.
Yeah, which is interesting because he hasn't really made that many waves over the last couple years, and it's almost like people had really counted him out in terms of even being somebody that people were interested in. And now with so many other rappers being accused of snitching and stuff, it seems like people have a renewed interest in him, but I'm curious if that could ever translate to the music because it feels like people have written off that aspect of his career for sure.
Well, you could say that, but then let's take a look at the numbers.
This is true, yeah.
Let's take a
He's
look.
always done impressive numbers
No,
regardless.
Let's take
Yeah.
a look at some of the numbers that actually count.
What's your default thing that you go to look for in terms of metrics?
Monthly listeners
On Spotify.
on Spotify.
But that I feel like tells like a different tale because that is talking about like the popularity of his previous work. I'm more interested in like, can he make a record now that has anywhere close to the level of impact that something like Gummo did?
Well, why am I not? I'm not getting on.
I don't know.
He's doing 11.2 million monthly right now on
thank
Spotify.
you. Thank you. Okay, that's 11.2 monthly. Look up Kendrick.
Kendrick off top, he's probably doing like 44 million.
Maybe 70, I think. I think I looked up recently.
Oh yeah, no, I'm tripping. 73 million.
Okay, so the biggest rapper in the world right now is doing 7 times what Tekashi did. I think that's not too bad.
Drake's
That's
at
what I'm saying.
81.
I mean, I'm clearly he's not close to them,
Right.
But
He hasn't released
that's
music
a
in
big,
forever.
Yeah, he hasn't
yeah.
released
Yeah.
music in forever. He really has been out of the news more or less for a while. Like, that's a lot of monthly listeners.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And regardless,
still checking for him.
people just remember the time period where he was the most fascinating rapper in the world. And there's still
100%.
a lot of those clips. Like when I see like, oh, him talking about the time period where he basically decided to turn on the Bloods and you know, kick them all out of his circle.
Yeah.
I mean, this was such a fascinating time period in rap that hearing him talk about it is probably always going to be interesting.
Oh, yeah, it's becoming. You know, I remember when I asked him about stealing the gummo beef from Trippie Redd. He's like, "Yeah, stole that shit. It's what I do." It's like, you know how many memes are like that now?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, when you ask your friend for your lighter, stole that shit.
Did you get the vibe that he was saying these catchphrases over and over, like when he was saying, "They're gonna skip this clip, Vlad, they're gonna skip this clip, I spit nothing but facts, Vlad"? Did that stand out to you as him trying to create viral catchphrases, or him just being so burnt out that he's just repeating the same thing over and over?
It's just him being him.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt it was natural. I don't think he even was known.
It's just him being him. In fact, I remember after the interview, he was like, "Yo," because I told him how I'm gonna roll it out. He's like, "No, that's gonna be all boring, all the family shit. Nah, this shit not gonna flop." I said, "Let me let me do what I do. Trust me." And he's like, "Oh, I get it now. Oh, now I get it." I'm like, "Yeah, this is a little different than what you're used to." But
what do you feel like is the craziest clip? Has that clip dropped yet, or is there something else that's even crazy?
I mean, the stuff about Trippie was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
The him like rapping the Trippie Redd version of
How
Gummo.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny. We were actually supposed to interview Trippie right around that time. I think even before that came out. I'm not holding my breath at this point.
Yeah, I wonder if he would feel a way about that.
I don't know. I mean, I know, like, for example, I reached out to I think it was like Big Moochie Great, you know, who's part of
PRE
to do an interview, because we had been talking before about doing the interview, and I remember I hit up the manager. He had asked, they were like, "Never," and I'm like, "Okay," because the Hernandez Govan interview is just like, okay, so now they hate me because I interviewed, I guess, one of their ops. They felt got away with murder, but he was tried in front of a court. They found him not guilty. You don't know for a fact what his involvement is in this shit, and now you're mad at me over interviewing the guy. Yeah, which to me is just sort of like, well, whatever. Yeah, like I'm not gonna try to convince you otherwise, but that shit is weak.
If all it takes for us to not be cool is for me or you to continue doing what we've been doing for 10 plus years, like,
and what I'm supposed to alter what I do over some, you know, like a group of artists, label, whatever, they don't fuck with me anyways.
Yeah. It's not like you have
interviewed Dolph a long time ago. We haven't done Dolph like leading up, you know, to the time he passed, or we've never done Key Glock, like we've never done any of these guys.
It's not like you're not human because, let's say, God forbid, somebody did something to Boosie. I'm sure you would have a different thought process about interviewing the person responsible for that kind of thing.
Well, that's a personal connection.
Exactly.
Right. But I interviewed Soulja Boy and I interviewed the guy who he shot.
But then that's like the ultimate decision right there.
Do you so mad at me at this point?
Do you want to maintain the relationship, or do you want to do what you consider right as a journalist?
Right, but if there was never a relationship to begin with, how are you gonna be mad at that person when there was no relationship to begin with?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
No, for sure. Yeah.
Like, I don't know anyone over there, so they're mad at me, but we've never had a relationship to begin with. Yeah. So,
all right.
I can't understand this mentality here.
Your personal thoughts outside of what the jury said. Do you think he had any involvement?
No.
All right, for sure.
No.
I was saying the same thing.
Did he maybe have an inkling that it might be happening? Possibly. But was he the go-between? Did he take the money for a murder or whatever else? No, I don't think so. See, and the jury, and the thing is, I just want to answer your question. Sure. Is that he had his lawyer right there, and they didn't say, "Don't ask us this." I was able to ask whatever the I wanted. You know how thorough I am. Yeah, I went through the whole thing. I went through every detail and so forth. All they had was that there was communication with him, Big Jook, and the two killers in the days leading up to the murder. So he never denied knowing any of them. The only witness is one of the murderers who snitched on the other murderer who hasn't gone to trial yet, who's trying to get his situation not doing life in prison. There's not a single text message that had anything to do with a murder. at the end of the day, that's like tying me into the Big U situation. I know Big U. We've called, we've texted. I got nothing, but I know nothing about anything he was doing that was illegal, if he did anything at all. So the jury saw that right away. I remember I mentioned, I'm like, oh, they deliberated for 3 hours. They said less than 3 hours. An hour and a half of that was jury instructions and blah, blah, blah. It was really about an hour, hour and a half. So you mean to tell me a group of jurors, these are not hip hop fans, these are regular working people in Memphis. 12 of them got together and they're dealing with a murder case that has life in prison attached to it.
For one of the most beloved rappers in Memphis history.
One of the most beloved rappers, with a guy that has an extensive criminal history already. He's been shot, went to jail, blah, 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 blah. And in an hour and a half, they quickly said not guilty. There was no argument in that room. There was no holdout saying, no, I think he did it. It would have stretched, it could have easily stretched out for days. It didn't. So like, come on. Like, everyone thinks they know the real deal more so than the jurors, more so than the judge, whatever else, right? Let me explain something to you. This was sort of like the aha moment, because like, for example, everyone's like, free Tory, Tory's going to get appeal, everything else like that. Do you know what percentage of appeals actually are successful?
Maybe 1%.
2%.
2%.
2%. Whoever's there is probably going to stay, not because they're innocent or guilty, it's because they have a 2% chance of this actually working. Granted, when you have money and so forth, that can increase to 3, 4, 5, 6% maybe, but you're still 90-something% sure you're going to stay where you are. 2%. So everyone likes to be like the armchair lawyer. But for example, all the people I've interviewed about the Diddy case, how much time will he get? I asked 24 people what they thought. Time served, they'll let him out the same day, maybe a year at the most. The only person that said he might get a good amount of time was Judge Mathis, who's an actual state judge. Right? Who was a lawyer and then became a judge. And he pretty much nailed it.
I mean, there's so many people who like Tory Lanez is such a good example of somebody who, he may have lost in court, but he's playing the game of winning over people's hearts. And he's basically crafted a disinformation strategy for the ages. Like, there are so many people who believe that there's essentially no evidence against Tory Lanez and that he is innocent. And for anyone who actually has paid attention to the case, having that perspective is insane. But that is almost like a majority opinion in hip hop. And
including the Drakes of the world, including the Aiden Rosses of the world.
Yeah.
Look, I ran to his dad.
And everybody hates Meg. Let's be real. Like, Meg Thee Stallion, she is not very well liked by the mainstream in hip hop.
Well, I think women like her.
Women like her, but like
women like her.
Even men. She's really one of the only women who's not wrapped up in this Cardi and Nicki war. Really.
That's true, right?
Yeah.
But no, I ran into his dad. Tory's dad.
Right.
And,
what's his name? Sunstar.
Sunstar, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And we had a conversation, and I told him, he's like, oh, I heard that you've been saying some things. I said, well, this is what I've said, and I felt that if he really didn't do it, he should have taken the stand, because there's no way I'm gonna go to jail over some bitch I just met that I'm on the side that went and shot somebody. He was like, no, we knew he couldn't do that. I said, no, I understand, but I wasn't going to change my story just because I'm standing. We're both very respectful towards each other, right? We exchanged numbers and so forth, but. Remember, the appeal was like, Kelsey was the shooter, and Tory hit her forearm, and the gun dropped and fired twice. Like, the gun dropped and fired twice. Like, what type of Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny shit are you guys trying to paint here?
Yeah.
Like, the gun dropped and it fired twice. Like,
but did his dad try to convince you at all?
No. It wasn't that. Well, where we were. It was like a children's type of place.
Really?
Yeah, it was like us there with a bunch of kids.
Always so weird when you see like other hip hop media personalities or whatever in those kind of environments.
Like I said, it was a, and I don't want to say where it is, not to put his business out there, but it was a place where it was mostly children. So two grown men arguing in front of a bunch of kids, all of us would have felt
Yeah.
stupid as hell like doing that. Like, you know what I mean? I wasn't trying to do that. So I was super respectful, and he was respectful. You could tell, you know, listen, no one wants to see their kid doing 10 years getting stabbed up. Like, it's horrible, man. And I don't have anything against Tory at all. I just would always say it looks like he's going to go to prison over this. And he tried to create this whole thing. And this is the problem, where when you think social media is behind you, you think that's going to translate into a courtroom. It didn't. Same thing with Diddy. Diddy was booking speaking events next week because he thought, oh, the media is on my side now. Look, everyone's on my side. Yeah, I didn't win, but I won all the major charges, and now everyone thinks Cassie's an asshole. And yeah, I'm getting out. Book this, book that. I'm there. And then they bring it up to the judge, and and I asked Mathis, he said the judge potentially gave him more time just for that. Just for that.
Well, they tried to use it against him in sentencing, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They brought it up in sentencing, and they couldn't deny that it was actually happened. So the judge is probably like, okay.
How much time you think he should have got for that?
I felt in this particular case, I mean, if you look at what he was convicted of, which is prostitution, I would say time served is fair.
Yeah.
It's just fair. If you really want to prove a point, give him another year, right? 5 years, well, 4 years, was it 4 years, 2 months?
50 months.
That's excessive for what he was actually convicted of. But what Mathis brought up, which is, once again, this is why we're not good at certain jobs, like being a lawyer and understand the legal system. He said, listen, even if Diddy gets convicted of just prostitution, the judge is going to look at what came out in that courtroom, and they're going to adjust the time based on the other things. Even though he wasn't convicted of them, it was confirmed that he beat on women. It was confirmed that he threatened people. It was confirmed that these women were suicidal at certain points, and you know, there was drugs involved and so forth. There was enough there for him to say, I'm going to go towards the upper guideline of this particular situation.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a tricky one for us because this is a crime that, as much as it is a federal offense, none of us have any kind of moral qualms with it. Like, we all think,
go buy some pussy. Go buy some dick.
Yeah.
I don't care. He was buying dick. Like, you know what I mean? He was a dick buyer. So I don't know. And his lawyer brought up something interesting. He said, you know, Mr. Combs is the only man in America who's in jail right now for hiring male prostitutes. There's literally no one else in jail in all of America.
I hate that they were able to
hiring male
use all that
hookers.
shit against him because it just feels like the viral nature of this case got him more time in prison, which really feels like it's just not how this is supposed to go. But it did. And I mean, really, for me, I ultimately think, like, given what I thought was going to happen to him a year ago, I think that he should be thankful that he probably will do another 1.5 years in prison and then get out. Like, I didn't think that this was such a verdict that he should have been dropping to the floor crying. If anything, that made me feel like, oh, this is a guy who's still full of his own hubris and ego. And you know, I feel like if I was in his situation and I got probably another 1.5 years, that I would have been, all right, cool. I can get back to life in a 1.5 years.
I feel like it's a W because, I mean, they were recommending 11. And
yeah.
He was like facing like 50 to life. So it was like, at that point, doing 4 more, you know.
But
he could have walked free.
What did he do?
Yeah.
Like, I interviewed 5 of the male prostitutes and got the same story every single time. Cassie was a willing participant. In a lot of cases, she was the one that was actually fueling the situation. Same thing with, you know, Jane Doe, like, you know, 50's baby mom. It's the same shit. Like, I remember interviewing Don the dealer. In your world, he's Dick Dealer Don.
Not necessarily in my world. I wasn't familiar with this guy before I saw you interview him, but yeah.
The porn world.
Yeah.
But he's the actual.
Oh, he's a star as well? Okay.
Oh, no, he has a bunch of scenes.
Got it.
Right? And he was saying how, like, Daphne was the one that just took control of the whole situation. She would, like, you know, when he was explaining to her, she would, like, clap and got all happy, and then she would pick out his underwear, and she would tell. She took over Diddy's role as, like, the director of the whole situation. Oh, you're going to do this, and you're going to do that, and she was totally into it. But then on the stand, suddenly she's a victim. It's just like, it's just freaky sex.
Have you been contacted by her team? Can you speak on
I talked
that?
to someone that was working with her, but we didn't get too far in the conversation. I think
Okay.
what she was expecting was just a number that's not realistic in our world.
Many such cases these days. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so you just recently went to the NBA YoungBoy show,
Yeah.
which I assume was your first time seeing him in concert. Obviously, this is basically like the biggest concert series you could imagine, and especially in terms of street rap at this point. Obviously,
Yeah.
Drake and Kendrick are doing their thing, but for this kind of music, this is almost kind of unprecedented.
Yeah. Shout out to Academics.
Yeah.
He was the one that that brought me back there. And yeah, man, it was his team is dope. Shout out to Fee. Lil Tim was there.
Okay.
I got to meet Lil Tim for the first
Oh,
time.
because
In person.
you
I've
had interviewed him
him,
remotely. Got
but
it.
it was remote. I didn't want to fly
yeah.
down to Savannah again for that particular interview.
That's one that we turned down given how much heat we took for interviewing one of Pop Smoke's killers, which is a very different scenario. But at that point, it felt like I don't really need to go through another round of this.
Well, I think Tim acted in standard ground.
100% agree. Yeah.
Self-defense. It was if Tim had robbed King Von and killed him in the process, it would have been I would have looked at it a little bit differently, but this was a self-defense situation. He was protecting his friend.
They're outnumbered at a nightclub.
They were outnumbered. The guy jumped on him. This guy is a self-professed serial killer. I would expect my security, who's sitting right over there, to do the same thing.
It's
For
unfortunate, but it's self-defense.
You didn't actually?
I didn't really get a lot of, I don't think I'll be hanging out around Dirk's people like that. But then again, I heard Dirk is cool also with me because I interviewed his lawyer.
Right.
Drew Finling had to get the okay from Dirk to do that interview.
Right.
And we did the interview. So I think that the pushback you got, I mean, I don't really have a problem with what you did.
Right.
Me personally. And I've said this publicly before, but I understand how everyone wants to be outraged and everyone wants to be mad at the news outlet for giving the person a platform, but they do want to hear the story.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to him? I feel like he sort of faded away after that.
I never saw anything really with him after that. I heard he got locked up
Yeah,
again
got
after
locked up.
that.
He got locked up again?
Yeah.
Really? For what?
I can't remember what it was for. I think he'd be out in like a year or so. Or he might have got out, but he's been laying low.
He seemed like he wasn't 100% there to begin with, though. He seemed like he was
Just a child.
drugged out.
I think he was off perks.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He seemed like he was drugged out.
I think it really stands out to me too that there's like New York and LA have some pretty intense cultural differences, and as much as we're all Americans, and as much as there's no explicit beef between the coasts, I do think that some people in New York just like kind of have a hard time understanding what LA is like and understanding that kid, Blockstar, that he's basically a celebrity in LA at this point, regardless of how he got there. And in LA, the gang culture is such that this kid was going to be a huge interest, and he was going to appear on some platform,
right,
regardless, one way or another. And I think I
was offered the interview.
Right. And I think to a lot of New Yorkers, they just don't understand being a young kid from Hoover who catches a famous body is enough to basically elevate you to the status of being a minor celebrity in the LA street world. And, I did the interview regardless of the fact that I had judgments about him. And I think that there's nothing wrong with interviewing people who've done horrible things.
I interviewed one of the guys that was involved in the murder of Michael Jordan's father.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know Plug back in the day, right? Me and Charlamagne had a falling out over that interview, which we ultimately fixed. But look, at the end of the day, not everyone could pull this off. Like to sit down with someone and seriously talk to them about a horrific event and get them to open up and do it in a way that is still respectful. And it's not easy, man. It's not easy, but I feel that these types of interviews are important in the grand scheme of things. At the end of the day, that interview is part of Pop Smoke's story.
Would you interview the guy who killed Charlie Kirk a couple years from now?
I would do the interview today.
What's your thought process on that? Just it's noteworthy, it's newsworthy.
Timothy McVeigh got interviewed.
Right.
Who's way worse than this guy.
Yeah.
Timothy McVeigh bombed a federal building and killed, I believe, hundreds of people. There was a daycare center in there.
Right.
And he got interviewed.
Yeah.
So why why would this be somehow worse?
Would you have interviewed Osama bin Laden?
100%.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like
100%.
just because somebody did
But- and
something up
he
does
got
not mean they're
interviewed-
off limits.
He got interviewed like in his cave, like in Afghanistan or wherever the hell he was.
He,
For
did,
sure.
he was doing news outlets.
Yeah,
and
like,
shit.
like 2020 or something. Like, no, someone went up, like, had to go on donkeys and like
Yeah,
go
yeah.
up to this, risk their own lives. Like, yo, I mean, we really, you know, when I look at my history of interviewing people, like, I've risked my life at various times to do this job.
Mm.
Like, things have gone. I've had guns pointed at the camera. There's been, you know, drive-bys in the vicinity of me doing stuff when I used to just go out on location to people's blocks and people's studios and so forth. I sat down with people that, you know, like I remember, what's his name? I never put this out, but 03 Greedo.
Oh,
What happened?
I did his last interview before he got locked up,
Right.
and he was on edge. 'Cause
Yeah.
He was about to do like 20 years or something. Right?
Ended up being 5, but yeah, we all thought it was
Yeah.
gonna be 20. Yeah.
It was going to be some heinous amount. And I'd mentioned someone's name. It was someone that he didn't get along with. And he said, I don't want to talk about him. And I was trying to tell him that I just interviewed him. He spoke nicely about him to try to somehow de-escalate this. And Greedo snapped. He was just like, motherfucker, I told you I didn't want to talk about this shit. Now, this interview, you know, I'm a gangster. I didn't even want to be here. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, man. I apologize. My bad. I'm sorry. You know, like, I remember that was the day I said I'm bringing security
to the studio.
for people that I don't really know.
Mm.
That was the turning point. Big E, you can thank 03 Greedo for this. That was the day, because I remember at that moment I'm like, things can go left right now.
Yeah.
Things can go left. He kind of doesn't give a right now. I mean, what's an extra assault based on whatever the he's facing at this point?
Right.
It's whatever. So, yeah, things went bad because I tried to push the envelope a little bit with someone that didn't want to be pushed on that particular day.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, man. I mean, but who would not tune in and watch the interview with Charlie Kirk's killer?
No,
Who would
people
not
watching
watch that right now? Right now, we could probably beat out the Super Bowl with that interview.
Oh.
People.
I'm
100%
saying-
watching that.
For sure,
Bad
especially
Bunny,
with Bad Bunny on there.
Performing in Spanish, you can't understand any of the words.
Eh.
Or the Charlie Kirk killer interview. Hey.
We'll edit this in, but was 03 Greedo's freak out there, was it more intense than this?
Stu Boy Blue pulls up to No Jumper with raw LA energy and nearly loses it when Adam 22 brings up Nipsey Hussle.
But who actually put you onto the music hustle?
Who, Nip?
What did Nip represent to you that was...
Nothing, nigga. That was my big homie, nigga. What you mean, nigga? I'm crib.
But why do you think it
That was
hit
my
you
big-
so hard?
Nigga, that was my big homie, nigga. On 6ix9ine, nigga. That was my big homie, bro. Like, nigga, that's Nip, nigga. Dead homies. And he rich and he's still here. Like, what the fuck? Nigga, on crib. Who the fuck? Nigga, on 6ix9ine, nigga. Who the fuck do some shit like that, nigga? Dead homies, nigga. On 6ix9ine, nigga. That's my big homie, nigga. On crib, nigga. Black Sam raised me, nigga. On 6ix9ine, nigga. That's family, nigga. That's my big homie, bro. I swear to God, nigga. Crib. To this day, God, that shit still hurt me. No, nigga.
That's the most intense one that I think I've dealt with.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. he was just, and you know what's funny is that afterwards, I actually talked about that with him. We laughed it off. I was like, what I was trying to say, I was like, yeah, I know, man. I'm going through it right now. You know, we literally laughed it off afterwards.
Yeah,
So
Greedo-
it didn't end badly, and we kept going with the interview, right?
Right.
But yeah, shit happens. It is what it is. If you're trying to create the highest level content, and I feel like even like I feel like I'm still competing. Right, I don't feel like I'm just like, yeah, you know what the young boys doing, and I'm chilling, I'm just doing occasionally. Be like, nah, like I'm still trying to hit home runs with what I do. So yeah, Charlie Kirk's killer. If you're listening,
You can't pull up because you are
You can't
currently
pull-
locked
yeah, you can't
up,
pull up.
but
You can't
tap
pull
in
up.
maybe.
I'll have to go to you. I doubt they'll let me bring the
I mean,
cameras.
the world
in.
would be better off if there was a 3-hour Adolf Hitler interview. like a Vlad TV quality Hitler interview where you could watch it and look at his face. You could see the crystal meth. You could see the agitate. You know, like that would be obviously there's clear reasons why it shouldn't exist. You have a dog in the fight also, but I mean, in general, I think that if you could observe him for who he really was, that would be one of the most important documents in recorded human history.
Yeah, I mean, people still read his book. People watch his speeches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand the need to try to hide certain things. Now, there are people that I just don't really want to talk to. Like, did you just interview Fleece Johnson?
I did, and he takes issue with the fact that you basically called him a rapist. He said that he never took anything that wasn't given to him.
Really? We could do it the easy way, or we could do it the hard way. They always chose the easy way.
Well, see,
really, that's not.
It's the hard way.
That's not. No, it's both ways. It's both ways.
The interview itself is insane, but he said that he would sit down with a guy that he was interested in, and he would show them, a penis going in a vagina, and he would say, "That's not that different than what I'm going to do to you." And at some point, this would start to resonate.
What I'm going to do to you.
A lot of times, these guys
don't get fucked by the pussy.
These guys are they're so young. They've never had sex, so they're going into prison, and this is all a mystery to them. They don't really know what they're missing out on. They don't know what they like. I agree, it's super fucked up, but I thought it was a story worth telling.
Give me a headache right now. I mean, he was taking ass in prison, like he was taking people's ass.
He said he wasn't taking it. He said he was giving it.
Really? So now, so explain the old interview.
He said he was kind of like trolling around.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna take that at face value. So that's what it is. I mean, he threatened to rape me at one point. So it is what it is.
I got the sense that he was feeling me out to be his next sissy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of felt a little flirtatious. But he also told me he had looked up my wife and that he really wanted to fuck her. He's married. He has a female
I heard
wife.
About this. Yeah, I heard about this.
You got to wonder what's going on with her.
Who is she?
She's not grossed out by not easily grossed out. Let's say that she's not terribly concerned with her husband's past.
I mean, look, there was a whole Boondocks episode about this.
That's what I'm
saying. And he was pissed off about it.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I even considered doing it, because I was on the Boondocks,
right?
So people like connect me with the whole Boondocks thing. And I'm like, oh, okay, Fleece job. But I thought, yeah, he was trolling also. But we looked into the background. It's not trolling. The dude is a rapist. And like I said, the easy way or the hard way, you're raping somebody. You're just telling them not to resist because it'll be violent. It'll be a violent.
Well, but you're kind of assuming that he was threatening them. He says that he wasn't. So I feel like I have to take his word for it.
Really?
Well, I don't have to, but I choose to.
I'm trying to get a second interview because there's no way.
Yeah, listen, I just chose not to interview him because just a male rapist. That's just not. That's all he's known for to me. Like, right? Like, he's a male rapist. Like, I don't interview female, dudes that females. That's all they're known for. Like, I can imagine if. Like, for example, like you see people that have been accused of shit, like a Trey Songz, but Trey Songz has a whole. There's
other reasons to interview him.
He has a real talent, a real musical career, and so forth. And then maybe we might touch on that. But Fleece Johnson is just a rapist. He's the famous rapist. Like,
Vlad,
that's a thing.
Vlad, if you robbed a liquor store, would you post it on Instagram? No. If you robbed somebody for their basketball, would you post it on Instagram? No. Like 6ix9ine making the extremely long, drawn out point that he didn't know that girl in the video was underage. That was one of the funniest parts of that interview. I hate to keep going back to it.
It's part of a bigger story.
Yeah, right. But just the fact that he felt like he needed to use up so much of the interview repeating that was so funny to me.
That's the whole part where he was trying to justify beating up Sarah Molina.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, what if your friend did this? And then I'm like, I could leave.
Yeah.
The beating up of the girl part doesn't really is not the next logical step, right? It's not the only path out. So whatever, 6ix9ine gonna be 6ix9ine.
So just to go back to the Young Boy show, you got to meet Birdman for the first time.
Yeah.
Anything else stand out to you about being in that environment at that crazy of a show?
Let's talk about, all right, the moment that three of them walked up on you in academics, it
Yeah.
was looking like they wanted smoke. Like, there's
Wait,
like
who?
memes.
OG3, Youngboy's brother.
They walked up on you guys pretty aggressively, but
Really?
they said what's up. But there's like
The clip was going around. He walks up all fast and like, aggressively, and then you guys kind of had that conversation, and then you realize that's
didn't-
just how he's walking around.
You didn't see him like hugging me?
No,
it was
afterwards,
after, like you can see, I had that you
Yeah,
guys were
no,
cool.
'cause I was
but there was a
like-
clip that academics posted where it looked like
Oh.
it was like, what the? Why were they walking so aggressive?
Oh, I didn't catch that at
Oh,
all.
for real?
Me and him saw each other. He was like, "Oh shit," because we hadn't seen each other since our last interview. His mouth was all had diamonds all in his mouth. He seemed super happy. He was like hella happy to see me.
Yeah.
That's all I saw. I'm just being honest. Like,
Yeah.
I have no idea about all this other.
You'll see the
shit.
clip after you watch.
Okay.
After the interview
Yeah.
come up.
Nah, man, it was a great show. It was.
What about the energy that you seen from the fans? Like, how did you expect
fans were
that?
great, man. Fans were great. A lot of them asked for pictures.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of love, man. It was a
No,
lot of
not
love.
even from you. Just like how his fans.
Nah,
act. Like,
his
they're
fans.
going-
Nah, man. It was a great show.
Yeah, super.
It was a great show, great energy. It was great to see him doing his thing with all. If you look at all the times he stumbled on the way to get here, right? It's like he's been a hot rapper forever, but he's just always in jail or on house arrest, and more shit happens along the way. And he goes back in and, gets caught with the prescription drugs and this, that, and the third. He could have been touring like this for 5 years, right? Easy. Because remember, I only just started seeing him do like clubs, and then suddenly all the legal problems started. So,
Although I wonder to what extent these tours would still be as huge 5 years from now if he just consistently keeps doing it, because so much of this,
Yeah,
the
it's the
excitement
first-
about it
first
was the
time.
fact that he
Yeah,
hadn't been able to tour for such a long time.
well, Youngboy got this really, like, there's a couple songs of his that I like, but I'm not like a super big Youngboy fan, just to be honest. Like No Smoke, like I love.
I'm the same way. I like a bunch of the songs, but do I have the encyclopedic knowledge of his catalog the way that we do about a Jay-Z or a Drake? No.
I don't. And in fact, his project with Quando is my favorite project that he's put out.
O-Block hater.
What?
You're an
I'm
O-Block
an
hater.
O-Block? I'm not an O-Block
That's an O-Block diss album.
Is it?
Yeah.
The whole album?
I mean, kind of. Youngboy was mad at the label for putting it out because he had gone through this transformation at that time.
I had no idea.
Oh, really?
I'm not as intricate with this shit. I understand. I interviewed dudes from O-Block. Like, I'm not in the middle of this shit.
He says O-Block pack get rolled up on the album.
Okay.
Well, in your face, but yeah.
Right, But yeah, it was interesting to see, and I'm not really outside like that. So interacting with everyone, like I ran into Tusi again. That was dope. What was it? Got to meet D4vd's for the first time, and his manager was super like happy to see me and was like really like super respectful and talking about putting some shit together. Ran into Offset. Didn't seem like he really wanted to talk to me.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, because we were all kind of like walking by. I'm like, oh, Vlad. He's like, yeah, I know who you are. He wasn't like, he just said it just like that.
I'm not going to do nothing, but yeah. I see you exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know who you are. And I'm like,
that's interesting.
That's that. That's the end of our conversation.
It's weird with somebody like Offset because like you or I have probably had so many conversations about Offset that I have no idea if I said anything offensive. What did he see? What did he not see?
Yeah,
I have no clue.
I don't know, man. So when I got that reaction, I just kept it moving.
How was it like meeting Birdman? Because you said y'all talked for years.
Yeah, for 2 years. I could show you. For 2 years, we've been texting. He reached out to me first. This was after the Terrence Gangster Williams interview. And he reached out to me and he said he wanted to do something. But we've never done it. Every time we've talked about doing it, he hasn't given me a solid time. But if I text him, he'll hit me back, right? Like within an hour. Or if I want to get on the phone with him, we'll get on the phone. We just have never been in the same room. So walking in, he didn't know that I was coming. Academics just brought me along, and he was like, and you can see the video. He's like, "Is that who I think it is?" Like, Vlad. I'm like, "What's up?" It was like an actual, real like, "I f with you" hug, like, and then just because I just have always admired him. This to me is the greatest pure hip hop CEO of all time. he's never deviated from the music. He's always been about the music and really nothing else, and continued to stay hot and stay at the top level really the whole time, even through today.
Each generation now, even with YoungBoy.
Now we got YoungBoy, Nicki, Drake,
Hot Boys,
Wayne, Juvenile. He became the rapper at one point.
No, I 100% agree with you on
that. So no one has done. Look, Diddy's phenomenal, but he started making really a lot of his money in liquor and fashion.
Yep.
Jay-Z has not, really has not put the music in a while, and really hasn't even signed artists. I mean, I guess Meg Thee Stallion's the last one they probably signed, but
yeah.
And that's a management company.
That's really a management company, right? Yeah. Like, he hasn't really, you don't see Jay like at the shows. Like, Birdman was really there. He was right there beside the stage with like a little folding chair, just chilling.
Because Academics has interviewed YoungBoy, I think twice.
Yeah.
Full length interviews.
Right.
That then, I don't know what the reason was, but at some point Birdman told him, hey, I would like you to not put that interview out. For me, it's very hard for me to imagine going through the process of preparing for that interview, doing that interview, and then not putting it out. How would you feel if you sat down and did a 2-3 hour interview with Birdman and then he asked you not to release it?
I mean, it would hurt. I'm not going to say it's no problem.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you have to look where you are with the relationship, right? If you have a real relationship, then there are moments like that are going to happen, right? If this is someone who doesn't really fuck with you, then it's whatever. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then it's like, well, we're just doing business here.
Right. Because if Ak had just dropped one of those, it would have been great for him. But then for sure, him seeing him backstage at the YoungBoy concert probably wouldn't have been a great vibe.
Right. Or him and Birdman probably would not have a relationship. Like, I was there in that, in that bus because of Ak. Ak walked me up in there. Now, I have Birdman's number. I could have called him, but we were not talking leading up to it. That was all Academics, man. And shout out to Academics. I feel like, people like to paint him a certain type of way, man. He's just a cool that really has done good business. Has been transparent and really got to where he is through really just his own efforts. Nobody put him there. Nobody helped him out. He developed his own relationships. I think he keeps it honest with the people. Like, he's not just going to be someone's cheerleader just because he f***s with them. If they f***ed up, he's going to report on that as well. And yeah, man, I'm definitely thankful for the relationship we have. There's a new Academics interview out right now on Vlad TV. When I'm in New York, we rock with each other.
Were you there when Jim Jones accosted Academics?
I was right there. Yeah, I was literally.
Oh, so that was the same New York show.
What was the vibe?
It was New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
What was the vibe? And were you worried at a moment?
Well.
And did you say hi to Jim Jones? I feel like he might give you the cold shoulder as well.
I'll tell you the whole story. Right?
Okay.
Gotta smoke some of the Vlad TV.
I ain't gonna lie, that shit got me high. I can't even smoke it. I'm sitting here not even asking questions.
Right.
I'm like, it's some Zod co-signing for sure.
Thank you. Available in stores now. All right, so me and Jim don't really have the best relationship, right? At one point, early on, Vlad TV, we did some interviews. I think we might have been doing the DVD days. I don't think we ever had like a really serious sit-down interview, but I was with French Montana, and he was into it with Jim Jones because of the whole Max B situation.
Yeah.
So I asked French, there's a couple interviews where he's talking about the whole beef with Jim, and he goes into detail and so forth. So I guess Jim didn't like that. I remember this one time, I don't even, if Jim watches this, I don't know if he'll remember this or not, but I was at BET to do something, and I was in the green room, and Dipset was there. And me and Jewels were cool. We had done a few interviews. I would go to his studio and film out there. So me and him kind of relationship. I think Freaky Zeke was there, and we were cool. And some of the other Dipset dudes were there. And Jim Jones comes in, and he goes, shakes everyone's hand. He puts his hand out. When I put it up, he goes like this, and then walks out. That was the last time I saw Jim Jones.
Whoa.
That right there.
What year are you talking?
Oh my God.
Pre 2010?
Yeah, maybe 2009.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah. 2000. Yeah, it was close to the time I launched Vlad TV. 2008, 9, maybe 10.
Right.
Yeah, maybe 10 at the latest, right? So since that time, I'd seen Jim leave some negative comments about me and something like that, and we had talked about doing an interview, and we have this guy that we know in common, but it never, for whatever reason, we never even got to step one. So it's like, I assume Jim just doesn't f with me like that, right? And I've seen Jim spaz out on people, so I'm not trying to be around that, right? So that happens. So this whole thing with academics happens right in front of me, right? And I see him talking to Jim, and then Jim starts getting kind of like aggressive with him, and Ak has his security right there with him. I actually didn't have security with me. I just was gonna rock with Ak's security.
Piggybacking off his.
I was just piggybacking.
That's a good move.
I don't
That's a good
usually
move.
do that, but I felt like I don't really got beef with no one here. I should be cool here, right?
And you're not expecting to see Jim Jones in this environment anyway.
Not necessarily, but like I said, I don't have beef with Jim Jones. I just remember the whole hand thing and a couple of the comments, right? So Jim is like talking to Ak, and he's kind of like aggressive about it, but in Ak's security is like right there. I remember at one point Jim, oh, is this your man? Goes, yeah, or something. So but Jim had a bunch of people with him also. So I was sort of standing kind of behind Ak, because it's like, if all hell broke loose, then I would try to help him. I'm not his security. I wasn't trying to be like right there on Jim, but I'm like, okay, if all hell breaks loose, I'm behind Ak, and
Right.
I'll try to get someone off of him or something to the best of my ability, right? But they have the conversation, and then they walk away from each other, right? So I'm like, I don't want to have this kind of conversation with Jim right now. So I just fall back, right? But then at one point, he kind of like reaches over to me, because I think like someone's like, oh, that's Vlad right there. He reaches over to me, he pulls out his hand and to shake my hand. I shake his hand.
Jim did.
Jim did.
Got it.
So you know what I'm saying? I wanted to tell you the other part of the story, to say that he actually reached out to me to shake my hand, which I thought was cool. But I still wasn't sure where his head was at, so I didn't want to like follow up with a conversation. I'm like, I just leave it at the handshake and keep it moving,
right,
keep it moving, because it's like Jim just seemed kind of high strung. You see what I'm saying?
Jim and Ak coming face to face is like different eras of hip hop coming face to face, because Jim comes from an era where the streets are the most important thing, who's the toughest is the most important thing, and Ak comes from an era where that is completely irrelevant. And he's not really worried about you punching him in his shit, because one, he's with security. He feels like he's welcome here. This is his environment, so he's going to be good. Also, I don't know that Ak would necessarily sue Jim Jones, but it's definitely a possibility. I don't know that Ak would necessarily talk to the cops about Jim Jones punching him in the shit, but he definitely might. And so many of these things that matter to Jim are just completely irrelevant to Ak.
I think Ak would talk to the police. Why would he not? If the police asked him what happened, I think, he punched me. There's a million cameras probably capturing it.
I don't know that Ak is going to, go down to the precinct and do an interview about it. I feel like he doesn't really have a lot to gain from that. And I think he's very conscious of the image. And I think that in general, hip hop would clown him mercilessly. And I feel like he might not see himself having anything to gain from it.
Ak cooperated with the feds. He gave them
the video of 6ix9ine robbing those dudes.
The whole 6ix9ine rap-a-lot robbery thing that happened. Ak cooperated with the police.
But that's kind of like them coming to him asking for information that he could easily turn over, as opposed to him sort of, if you want to press charges against somebody for beating you up at a concert, you kind of got to go out of your way to do so. I'm not sure that Ak would necessarily see a reason
or police
to do
would go to him and say, do you want to press charges?
Yeah.
We're ready to take a statement.
Feel like Ak might not do it, but maybe it would.
I don't know. If he did it, do you think it'd make a difference? I don't think so. I think it'd almost make him bigger.
And that's the thing, is I think to Ak, it would just be content.
Yeah.
So what the
That's
who
what
cares?
I'm saying.
Yeah.
He would live stream him giving the statement to the police. Everyone would tune into that shit.
Yeah. But
I'll do it. Think about that. If Ak said, okay, I'll make a statement, but I want to live stream the whole thing, police will be like, all right, who cares? We'll get a conviction out of this. You can't say that's not what I said. It's right there for the world to see. I don't think it matters. It really doesn't. Now, I'm not saying you should do that. I'm saying, at the end of the day, but there might be a civil lawsuit. But Jim's mom was there. Young Boy's mom was there too. They're like hanging out together.
I don't think Jim's ready to crash in that environment. Over what? Over Ak maybe I guess he interviewed 6ix9ine or like he interviewed people who talk shit about him, but really, it's not like Ack was running this months-long Jim Jones hate campaign in which maybe I could see Jim losing it over that.
Yeah, I mean, Ack basically mentions something that I agree with is, as Jim continues his career, right? Like I've always thought that what Jim has pulled off has been impressive because this is someone that did not start off as a rapper. He was just part of Cam's crew. Like Jewels was like the next rapper up, and Jim was just there.
And his rap career has kind of outlasted the actual rappers from Diplomats in a way.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. He has the biggest song out of Dipset. Period.
Really? Wow.
Name a song better than Ballin'.
No, bigger than that.
Oh boy.
No, you're right.
Big song.
Wait, Hey Ma wasn't bigger than that?
Hey Ma or Ballin'?
Ballin' was doing ringtone era too. So
the
that shit
ringtone
was just
era.
going crazy.
I mean, basketball games.
Yeah,
it was a whole movement around Ballin'.
Yeah.
Hey Ma was a good song.
I feel like I'm still giving it to.
I'm telling you, Ballin's better. I mean, bigger than.
That's what I'm
Hey Ma.
saying. So he went and got the biggest song. It's a song he tore off forever. But
Okay, but in the modern era, Hey Ma has like 13 times the views that We Fly High does. Or wait, that's We Fly High. That's not Ballin'. Where is Ballin'? Was there?
That
was
is it.
that is We Fly High.
Oh, it is. That's
Yeah,
the official title, right?
So Ballin' has how many streams?
4.6 million. And
No,
then,
Ballin'
yes,
has 4.6
We
million.
Fly High, but then
Something's wrong with that.
60 million for Hey Ma.
How many ringtones?
Those
is
are
that?
on YouTube. We could go look at Spotify also if we want.
Hold on a second.
I feel like I hear Hey Ma still to this day, and it's such a huge hit. Whoops. I guess I got to look at Cameron's account. Hey Ma, 201 million plays.
On Spotify?
Yeah,
Okay.
201.
Okay, so go to
And
Jim
then
Jones.
Jim Jones, 47 million. So it's 5 times or 4 times bigger on Spotify.
All right. Well, clearly I was wrong.
Well, I mean, but
I
in terms of charts, you're right. I think. Well, I don't know actually. Hey Ma might have.
I don't know.
I don't think it was a number 1 song.
Well, listen. Big song from someone that didn't start as a rapper.
yeah.
Great job. And I feel like he continued to sort of stay in the public eye and people still fuck with him. Seems like he's probably always on tour and so forth. I just think that the thing is that I think Ack mentioned this in my last interview was that if you don't really embrace just the non-personal nature of what media does, more people will want to work with you when you're confronting people. And this is the image that you see. Like I said, I kept my distance, especially after seeing that, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not trying to get into it with Jim Jones. This could have, him doing that, but let's just say that it was the other way. Oh shit, what's up, Ack, whatever. Oh, you Vlad, yo, come on, come fuck with me. This could turn into Jim being a regular guest on Vlad TV and making whatever, hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years. And, possibly getting a lots of opportunity, like for lots of other opportunities. Like for example, out of the blue, a couple of my interviews with Ari Spears went crazy on TikTok. Have you noticed that?
No,
Nah,
I don't really look at
noticed it.
TikTok.
You
but
noticed it?
Yeah, I seen it.
I've seen it on Twitter quite a
it's
bit.
a whole, but on TikTok it went ballistic.
Yeah, it's a thing.
And like all my old interviews now, all the streams have gone up on the full interviews. So it's like you suddenly have your, now because Aries is performing at the in Saudi Arabia right now at that.
Oh, he did that shit?
Comedy festival. Yeah, I mean this is how
You got to press him on that.
This is how you see people that really take social media and take interviews, whatever, seriously. You see them elevating like that. So
If they offered
I'm
you,
saying,
if they offered you $1 million to go do a live podcast or interview or something for the Saudi Arabian government,
I'd do it for free if they want to fly me out and put me up, and we work something out,
regardless of the human rights offenses and whatnot.
I mean, at the end of the day, these are not democracies, right? Have you been like Dubai and places like that?
No.
I've been to Dubai. I've been to Egypt. I've been to Bahrain. I've been to Jordan. I've been to Israel. You go to these places, these are kingdoms with one king. So at the end of the day, whatever he decides, is really how it goes. There's no freedom of speech. You can't say the king of Dubai. Like, they will lock you the up.
Because
That'll be the end
Tim
of that.
Dillon was booked to perform at this comedy show, and then he made a bunch of jokes on his podcast about the human rights atrocities that they've all been involved with, and that was basically enough for them to uninvite him.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
why would we pay you if you're going to be dissing our country?
Because they're paying you to whitewash their history.
I think that I don't think that. I think that Saudi Arabia has a lot of money right now, and they're trying to figure out what to do for the next 100 years when the oil starts to run out. And part of it is to create, and this is what Dubai is doing as well. Like, I was out in Dubai and I kind of learned a lot about this stuff. They're trying to create like the Las Vegas of the Middle East. They're trying to have this be a major tourist destination, as opposed to we just make a bunch of oil and have a bunch of oil money, because the oil will ultimately run out, or people will shift into other forms of energy, right? Not overnight, but over the course. They're looking at this hundreds of years in the future. So this is why they're doing the football. I mean, not the football. They're doing boxing events there. They just bought EA, Electronic Arts.
Yeah.
For $55 billion.
Well, they created their own golf league and then merged with the PGA.
So now golf.
But when I say they're whitewashing their history, it's like they know how they're viewed by Americans. They know that America generally views them as monsters, and they're trying to do anything possible to show like, oh no, we're fine, we're okay. Which, if that also includes them no longer, murdering journalists, that would be great.
Yeah.
If they're going to continue to murder journalists and whatnot, and throw gay people off the roofs of buildings and all this type of shit, I mean, for me personally, I feel like I would go do it, and I would get paid, and then I would come back, and I would talk shit about it, and I would tell people exactly what my experience was like. The problem is that you have somebody like Dave Chappelle, or Bill Burr is one of the people who's been getting the most shit for it, because he's such a beloved comedian. But then he goes there, and one of the reasons why he gave when talking about how nice Saudi Arabia is just like, there's a Starbucks, there's a McDonald's, like, this is a great place, people are getting along. It's like, well, yeah, that kind of hides some of the secrets. But I mean, in the same way, a lot of foreigners could maybe use that same logic. Granted, the U.S. government's not like flying people out to do podcasts or comedy shows, but if somebody was to reject the USA because they, funded Israel destroying Gaza, then I guess I would understand that logic too. But
everyone's going to find something to get upset about. At the end of the day, I talked to Aries, and he wouldn't tell me how much he got paid to do the show. Like, I really try to get the number out of him. And me and him have business together. So it's not like I'm just in someone's pockets. Like, I pay you to do my show. So tell me how much you made. He's like, it was a nice amount.
I heard it was 10 times what they normally get.
Right.
I don't know if that's an
So
oversimplification,
let's
but
just say he gets 5, that turns into 50.
I feel like I need
10, that becomes 100.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna need 6 figures to go to the Middle East, generally speaking.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, Dubai was cracking. I'm actually trying to go to Saudi Arabia. My man Napoleon from the Outlaws, he lives out there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you can go out there. I'm not going out there.
Absolutely. Man, Dubai was cracking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dubai was a level of luxury that you really don't see very much.
Yeah, that's part of what I really don't find that interesting. But also, no weed while you're out there, huh?
No, not at all.
Did that hurt you in your heart?
Nah.
Maybe I'm a real addict, because that sounds horrible to me.
I could go without weed. Yeah. When I travel abroad, I don't f around. I don't try to end up in a foreign prison somewhere, because I don't know what the f I'd walk into there.
Yeah, I also have never flown into a variety of different countries with marijuana on me.
Yeah.
I would like to say that is something I've never done.
Yeah. No, it's not that serious. I am not that addicted to weed. I can't.
Okay. Where do you think we should go with this?
What do you think about Young Thug selling 52 copies? 52,000 copies first week. WL.
I think that's an L for Young Thug. I think with all the anticipation around him coming out, it almost could have been like think about like Tupac coming out with California Love.
Yeah.
Out on bail, fresh out of jail, California dreaming. Like, it could have been some shit like that if it was some huge smash record. Or, for example, like when T.I. got out of prison, he started dropping smashes. I mean, he can't outsell Gunna at this point. And everyone's waiting on his cosign for Gunna's career to go forward. And now it's like, didn't Gunna like adjust someone's Was it the whole runway thing?
Yeah, he
The
kinda,
jacket,
like,
but that was a
recreated the-
Thug thing originally, and then
Right.
Gunna basically recreated it.
But was that sort of like a
mocking at you like just like a
yeah,
ha-ha. That's what people are saying.
yeah? See, I'm gonna do your shit now.
But that's an interesting technique. Instead of like wholeheartedly going at your op, you just do little things
Yeah,
to
just-
parody them.
Yeah, just kind of poke the bear a little bit.
We're so used to approaching drama directly.
Yeah, I like responding to shit, but
Gunna
yeah.
has full. I feel like Gunna's influenced by Cardi. I feel like Gunna looks at Cardi and realizes like, oh, mystery is going to be my best friend in this next stage of my career.
Playboy Cardi.
Yeah,
Yeah. You don't know shit about Playboy Cardi.
exactly. But therefore, you see a photo of him, you see a tweet, you see anything, and he has such a big
Right.
fan base. You're just on it. It's super fascinating.
Right. You got the chick with the face tattoo. That's all you really know.
Yeah.
And then whatever.
And also
whatever
part of
Iggy Azalea wants to spill out.
like what could Gunna really just say anyway that people like if you just
Oh
keep
shit,
a
he
music.
can say a lot.
Yeah.
But
But at
I
the end of the
give
day, he's
Gunna-
not the most interesting person.
Yeah, I've never interviewed him, so
Mystery, I think, is
that's
good
his
for
thing.
him.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good because he keeps people wanting more. If I'm Gunna, I am not doing a 2-hour Vlad TV interview.
Yeah.
I
well,
don't think that is what he needs.
I mean, that was Young Thug also until he started doing all these new interviews. So
And that
there's that.
seeing Young Thug on the back foot being defensive and reactive is probably the most aura draining thing
Yeah.
in all of this.
Yeah, I feel like you don't have the same Young Thug anymore.
If they had leaked all that shit and then he had put out an album and sort of defiantly boasted and laughed at his haters, I feel like it would have came off
Yeah.
differently.
This is like middle-aged Thug now. This is like the guy that's
yeah, it was like he
still
was
talking about the old days.
Yeah.
it was like he was forced into dropping the album just because of all the controversy. Like I don't know. I don't feel like
Yeah.
this was the one.
Didn't Lucci outsell him?
Lucy hasn't dropped yet,
Oh, he hasn't
right?
dropped?
Yeah.
Oh.
but they did do a
They did
song, together.
together.
Yeah.
Okay, but I thought Lucci was supposed to. Okay, never mind.
I think it's
No,
coming out
Lucci
soon.
album out. I think Lucci
Wait,
album
did he?
is out, yeah.
Did it drop?
Yeah, Lucci album's out.
Yeah, I thought it came out the same
it came,
day.
It came out the same day.
Oh, I didn't even know
saw
that.
it,
Yeah.
so-
Okay.
Wow, that's actually bad if I didn't even know it came out. God damn.
Yeah, no, they dropped same day.
27K first week, which you would think that
For
Thug.
Lucci?
Yeah, so it's actually almost exactly half, which I would think that Young Thug should be doing more than twice what Lucci
Young
does.
Thug was kind of a bigger artist than Lucci.
By far. Yeah, way
Yeah.
bigger.
Young Thug was.
No, it's not even close.
Yeah,
But,
and
and
he
I'm
had-
Lucci, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
like it was,
He had hits, but as far as the cult fan base, not as much.
Yeah, and he had all the focus on trial as well, more so than Lucci.
Yeah.
Lucci was going through a parallel trial, but everyone was really talking about Young
Young
Thug.
Thugs, yeah.
Yeah. So
Another thing that came from the Young Thug thing, which we're kind of talking about now, is Lucci and Thug actually squashing beef
great.
and actually being in the club,
Good.
being friends.
Love it. Love
Yeah.
it. What's the alternative? We saw what the alternative
All right, so
is.
War
Woody-
forever.
Yeah. We seen the alternative is not good, but YSL Woody, he believes that Young Thug and Lucci are fake for squashing the beef
Okay.
because all the beef and shit led to a lot of people either being dead or in jail.
Yeah, I mean the whole beef was retarded. Honestly, to let it get to that extent, especially when they were making real money at that point, is brain dead. Whoever was actively doing it at the time, and I don't know at this point. And I don't think it matters, but to come together and say we're still going to be in the same overall city, we're going to probably keep running into each other.
Yeah.
Do we really want to keep going this way? I don't see a reason why this is not the best possible situation. Imagine if FBG Duck squashed it. Like who was like the king of O Block at the
King
time?
Von.
King Von. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine if FBG Duck and King Von said, we're gonna publicly do a song together and say all that old shit. And no one's gonna see this coming. We're just gonna drop it, and everyone's gonna lose their shit. It's gonna be the biggest shit either one of us did, and that will bring the temperature down to the whole situation. Where I just seen Duck, over the Prada store. Nah, he cool, man. Nah, he just did a song with Vaughn. Like, nah, all that. You see what I'm saying? How
No,
it
for
could
sure.
just totally transform the situation completely.
Mm.
like there's always a good reason to do that.
Russia and Ukraine have been at war many years now.
Right.
If they reach an agreement, it's like, I'm sure there would be people saying this, but overall, I think that the future benefits of peace outweigh the fact that there are hundreds of thousands of families who are mourning their children who died as soldiers in this war. I think that ultimately you have to say, yes, it's terrible that they died, but peace now is enough for us to move on past that.
I mean, peace is always the best solution.
Yeah.
Every single time. There always has to be some way to achieve that. I mean, look, like, how much do we really benefit beefing with people? Just in general. Like, think about if me and you just didn't with each other, just disliked each other. Like, for example, like Rory doesn't like me.
Yeah.
Right. It's very one-sided because I really don't know Rory. Right. I think he was taking up for Joe initially. Then after Joe fired him, he just felt maybe he needed to stand on that afterwards. But
also, hating on Vlad or like hating on Ag, hating on me is almost the kind of thing that people just start doing without thinking about it, because there's times where that's just the trendy opinion.
Everyone should do it, right? But think about if we just didn't with each other and would take shots at each other every so often and celebrate each other's, speed bumps, when they happen, as opposed to how much we benefited from with each other. Right, not only just on a business level, but on a personal level and so forth. It was like, yo, like, what are the pluses on the beef side? Is that I might go a little extra viral every so often.
Yeah, but
it's not anything that's gonna make or break anything. It's just a little blip on the radar.
But it's especially not advantageous to you as the bigger content creator, because in this space, everybody wants each other's space. And so for a smaller content creator, oftentimes talking about bigger content creators is the only way that they can get attention. Obviously, Rory's got his own fan base, but for him to take shots at Vlad does more for him, even though I would say that it does almost nothing for him, than it does for you. For you to punch down is really a evident waste of your time.
Well, but originally it was done on Joe Budden's podcast.
True, which is you and Joe is more of a fair fight. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could even argue that Joe was bigger, around that time. You can even argue he's bigger now. Like, it is what it is. We all have our following, and it's kind of unique. But yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like, running into Joe and just saying what's up to him and shaking hands and keeping it moving, and both of us mentioning that interaction in our own way and having a consistent story doesn't mean we got to work together, but the people that I do work with, I feel is sort of a lot of the reason why I am where I am, is because I've maintained these types of relationships. Like, honestly, it's at the point where Vlad TV is just kind of like pure relationships now. Like, for example, like D.L. Hughley is going to do my show tomorrow. It's just a relationship. Like, me and him are actually friends, and we do this every so often.
Yeah.
And this is sort of, to me, kind of the core of what I am and what I do. So when I have people that just like, yeah, you and so forth, when they actually have something to bring to the table, Rory does have an audience. Rory does have a following. There's probably certain things that I could learn from him, but instead there's like a whole stance. It's just like, all right, that doesn't quite make sense. So I hope that Ukraine and Russia work shit out. It seems like Hamas and Israel are kind of getting close to something. They're talking about giving all the hostages back. At that point, it seemed like it'd be reasonable for Israel to stop what they were doing. And I hope that it does, because the alternative is what? People keep getting killed and
millions of fatalities, more than hundreds of thousands. Oh, I should know what the numbers are right now.
It's not millions.
No, but I mean, it'll get there if it keeps going.
Hundreds of thousands. It's definitely in the thousands. It's a fucked up situation all around, and I've spoken about it publicly multiple times.
Civilian deaths in Ukraine, 14K. Military deaths in the UK, 50 to 100K. And Russia, 100 to 200K. So in total, maybe 300 to 400, which is obviously that's insane.
It's like a whole city just gone.
Some people sent me screenshots of you at the NBA YoungBoy concert. it appeared that a woman was embracing you, wrapping her arms around you at one point.
Mhm.
I know you as someone who has always kept their family life, their private life completely out of the public realm, and it seems like that's worked out pretty good for you over the years. But that did stand out to me, that this might be indicative of maybe a new era in your life.
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
Okay. So that wasn't anything specific. That's just how your night was going.
Great night.
Great night, good
Great
vibes
night.
at the Young Boy
Yeah,
concert.
It was a great night.
I feel it seemed like a great night. Yeah.
Yeah.
I FaceTimed you later on, and it seemed like you were having a great night.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what's the
smoke to
most
that?
We
imperative
can go with
stuff.
the Benny
here.
the Butcher clip.
Yeah, let's roll that. Click that. Oh, actually, no, because we are not getting audio out of this for some
Do
reason.
you want to ask about the Bad Bunny tweet that I had?
Yeah, I had that on
Yeah,
there
we can
too.
fire that up too. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so do you feel like you've learned anything that changed how you view Bad Bunny as the Super Bowl pick since your take on it initially went viral? And it was kind of funny for me to see you saying that, because that was almost exactly what I had been saying about it at the time as well. And I feel like you speak for a silent majority on that one.
Yeah, well, because everyone wants to be like extra woke and be like, I listen to everything. I listen to foreign music and this and instrumental stuff, jazz. But ask any non-Spanish speaking person their favorite Bad Bunny song.
I can't. Well,
See what I'm saying? Okay, well, yeah.
I can't.
There you go. Everyone in this room, y'all got a favorite Bad Bunny song? E, what's your favorite Bad Bunny song? No, you, right? Behind the no, no, exactly.
I even went and listened to I watched a few music videos after this whole controversy, and I still don't care at all.
I remember the song with Drake. I listened to that a little bit, but really more so for the Drake part.
I gotta listen to that.
Listen, like if you don't know, I can't imagine going to any show. Like, name your favorite BTS song that's in Korean. Like, you can't really name one. So saying I don't understand why at an event that's 85% English speaking, you'd have a foreign language artist, it doesn't quite make sense to me. And I feel like I'm the bad guy for saying this. Because, Bad Bunny just did SNL, and he literally addressed that in his monologue.
Yeah, he said learn Spanish.
Yeah.
You've got 4 months.
Exactly. I mean, clearly I'm not the only one. I'm not saying, oh, he's responding to me. I'm not the only one saying this. I think that's a fair statement to say at an American event, and people are like, well, what about Kendrick? He sold out Mexico City. That's because there's people there that wanted to see Kendrick.
Yeah.
It's not the biggest stage in all of Mexico,
Mm.
right? If, let's just say the soccer finals in Mexico, show me an American artist performing. Seriously, in the national finals of Mexico's soccer league, the biggest sport, show me an artist performing in English on that stage at halftime. Seriously.
I'm with you.
Seriously. I'm the bad guy for saying this. I just, can we all just be, this is just obvious here. And I understand, man. Shout out to all people like Danza was like, yo, man, they're trying to convince me. Otherwise, like, I get it. Like, Danza's Spanish though, right?
Right.
He's a Cuban, I think, or something like that. Like, I get it. Like, it's a great moment for all the Spanish people. I see why they feel strongly about it. I get it. He's a huge artist, just in a different language.
You want to know one thing that I almost feel a sense of relief? Every Super Bowl, I go to my girl's family's house and I watch the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl halftime show surrounded by a bunch of extremely loud Armenian people. And every year, I'm at least a little bit annoyed because I would rather be watching like the Kendrick performance by myself so that I could pick up anything that he says, all the lyrics, etc. I'm super interested to see what lyrics he was going to say versus what he was going to kind of bleep out in the Not Like Us moment and everything. I'm not worried about that because I'm going to have no idea what he's saying. They might as well turn the sound off when I'm watching it this year. So that's nice. But in addition to that, though, I will say, like, I understand, because I've been forced to understand, that there are a lot of people who like music irregardless of the lyrics. I know a lot of people who love EDM and dance music. There's not even any words in that.
No, stop it. Yes, when it's instrumental, then it's instrumental for what it is. But when someone's saying shit in a language that you don't understand and you have no idea what the song is about, you can listen to a Bad Bunny song, and if you don't know any Spanish, this could be about a girl, about a murder, about being trans, about eating your mom's cooking. You have no idea what it's about. It's a total mystery. Yeah. It's not the same thing as listening to instrumental music that was designed as instrumental music.
But think about the voice as an instrument.
Fuck all
you
that.
don't necessarily have to understand what the person is saying to appreciate how it sounds.
You could appreciate it. There's a lot of shit I appreciate, but you're being given the biggest stage in America. You see what I'm saying? To an audience that doesn't really appreciate it because they don't know what the fuck you're saying. 15%. I looked it up before I knew the tweet was going to do something. They had it on. Big Boy was talking about it on the radio, and it was on World Star or whatever else.
Yeah, it was making its rounds.
At least in hip hop, you were the guy for that take, which I feel like a lot of people were thinking, but most people, especially older white people, didn't really want to be the one taking all the heat.
I don't think it was older white people. I think it's older non-Spanish people and younger non-Spanish people. How old are you?
I'm 33, and I even agree. I don't think Bad Bunny should be performing at the Super Bowl.
You're not white, what I mean. You're the same.
I don't know
we're
the
both
music.
Non-Spanish speakers, and that's okay. That's okay. 15% of the population speaks Spanish in America, and then outside America, although there's a third of the NFL audience, only 10% of that audience is Spanish. It's mostly English-speaking foreign countries like Australia, like the UK, like Ireland, or places like the Netherlands, where even though they have a different language, they do speak a lot of English over there, right? So I don't know, man. Just to say, I can't appreciate the music because the lyrics are foreign to me, and that's that.
But this is why I think it makes sense. Two reasons why it makes sense. Number one, if you want to talk about the biggest artist that they can get, it's him, because they can't get Taylor Swift, so he makes sense in that sense.
Or Adele. Adele was the other one they tried.
Right, and in addition to that, I think that international expansion is probably a very big long-term goal for the NFL because they pale in comparison to like all the other top 10 biggest sports. They have the most American audience, which is impressive that it's so big being just for America. But for the most part, other countries don't care. If they get, I don't know, 10 million people from the Spanish-speaking world that are going to maybe become NFL fans, that's a huge W for them. So I understand strategically, even though for me, my enjoyment of it would certainly be throttled by the fact that I do not give a about this man.
I don't personally think that the NFL really can get that huge worldwide just because what's required to play it.
Right.
Like, you need professional pads and shit like that to really play the sport, even on a peewee level.
But if they start watching it, that's great for them in terms of advertising on an international level. Maybe it expands.
I get it.
There's increased demand. It might be a long-term play. They're thinking 10, 20 years from now, maybe everybody's watching the NFL in Brazil.
I get it. Well, but they don't speak Spanish in Brazil.
They don't?
They speak Portuguese.
Oh, well.
See what I mean?
Maybe they could. But I bet they like Bad Bunny more than we do.
Probably.
Statistically.
Because Spanish and Portuguese are a little bit similar, but it's still a different language.
True.
Like you can't really get... Portuguese person can't really just speak Portuguese all through Mexico and expect to get by.
But if we fast forward 10 years and everybody in Mexico is watching the Super Bowl or consistently watching NFL games, and it doesn't need to be everybody, but some percentage of people, that's a big deal.
This is a ploy in order to try to expand their audience and potentially pissing off a whole bunch of the current audience.
Especially those conservatives. They're damn near threatening to boycott this thing.
Yeah, Trump is saying ICE is going to be there. It's like arresting
which is
Bad Bunny fans.
Especially a guy from Puerto Rico, which is,
but here's the thing. Bad Bunny also canceled his tour in America because of the policies of ICE.
Yeah.
So there's already sort of a friction between him and America and the government, actually. Well, Trump to begin with, and then he's performing at the Super Bowl. Yeah. I could see Trump pulling some shit like not allowing him in the country or something the day of the performance or something like, I don't know, like Puerto Rico's no longer a colony just for that day. Like, just for that day, the paperwork is going to be under review. And yeah, I don't know. Trump is petty like that. Like I said, I think it's dope because artistically, I appreciate what he does. Right. And I think it's amazing that a Puerto Rican artist can perform on the biggest stage. It just doesn't make sense, in terms of who it is that it's supposed to be for, which is the English speaking American audience. And you will never see that in a foreign country, the other way around.
So part of this is the fact that, and this has been discussed at length, but a lot of people are saying that hip hop is basically at maybe a low point in its history. 20 years ago, Nas put out an album called Hip Hop Is Dead.
Yeah.
And at that time, it felt like, Lil Wayne was kind of the culprit that was being pointed at in terms of like the essence of hip hop sort of being deteriorated. It's a fact that hip hop is occupying less spots on the charts. Everybody's talking about the labels seem like they've essentially given up on hip hop. I would say maybe at this point, the percentage of Vlad TV interviews with rappers is the lowest that it's ever been. I would assume.
Well, my biggest interview is with who?
But kind of an exception. I feel like if we go through the whole Vlad feed right now, we're going to be like, damn, there's not a ton of rappers coming through at this point. It just, and from my perspective, yeah, there's a lot less up and coming, interesting rappers to interview.
I think that right now, because all these eras are all championed by one or more superstars, right? The Jay-Z, Nas era, the Rough Riders era, the Drake era, the Kendrick era, the J. Cole era. Like but it's always a younger artist, right? It's not like some older artist coming through and getting everyone excited. Like Jay will come in and drop some shit that people with, but it's not Jay that's gonna control the 2020s. Who is the youngest? I mean, NBA YoungBoy is sort of like the youngest.
Yeah, him and
superstar.
Cardi.
Wait, how, are they the same age?
I think he's 30.
Cardi might be 30.
Yeah,
YoungBoy's younger for sure.
Yeah, YoungBoy's in his 20s.
But if you go for people between the age of 20 and 30, yeah, it's slim pickings in terms of who's the big superstars at this point.
I mean, so here's what's interesting, right? You got these two artists who are the next generation superstar rappers, and none of them are coming out with mainstream songs.
Yep.
And that's the difference. It's all just very sort of underground, kind of
for their fan base,
just really for their fan base. YoungBoy got 1 million albums out, and he doesn't have like a lollipop like a Lil Wayne. Remember how that song was just like, okay, clearly this is a huge hit song.
Doesn't seem incentivized to do so.
Drake, God's Plan. Like you have these big anthems. J. Cole, role models. Like you could keep going on. Kendrick, Not Like Us. Like there's these big anthems. They're #1 on the chart, the album, whatever. All the younger artists are coming out with very niche, just sort of not even necessarily hip hop per se. It's almost like something else in a way. And they're just dropping. Well, I mean, YoungBoy drops a lot. Cardi doesn't, but none of these songs are #1 songs. So when you don't have this next generation who can make #1 hits, they'll make a lot of money. They'll have a core fan, like a crazy fan base, and they're not even incentivized to do anything more.
That's one thing I was thinking watching you interview 6ix9ine is that as much as hip hop really turned on this guy at a certain point, he brought a lot of hip hop fans in. There's probably a lot of people, especially in Spanish speaking countries, that kind of relate to him, et cetera, that he was probably their way into paying attention to not just 6ix9ine, but all the other SoundCloud adjacent rappers at the time. And that's a great thing. If him or Drake or any of the superstars over the past 10, 20 years didn't exist, that's just less people being exposed to rap and becoming overall rap fans. Although I would say that even beyond that, there's just like a decreased interest in hip hop, generally speaking, it feels like.
I think there's only a decreased, interest because there's no #1 songs that are coming out. like, I mean, the biggest hip hop thing to come out is Cardi's album,
Mhm.
right? So Cardi's album sold like 200,000, and it seems like her songs are all over the charts. Cardi's a little bit older though,
Yeah.
right? I wouldn't put her in. I mean, how old is she? Like in her 30s?
I think early 30s, but maybe
She's
a little.
probably like
Mid 30s,
33.
yeah, probably mid 30s. She got three kids or
32.
32.
At least 2 kids. Did she have multiple kids with Offset, right?
Right, I think 2 kids
Two
with
kids
Offset,
with
one
Offset,
on the
and
way,
one kid
so
on
3
the way.
kids. I don't know if like the next generation is embracing Cardi as like the biggest. I don't know. I mean, this is all just opinions, but if you don't have this, if Young Boy was dropping #1 songs left and right, I think you'd have a very different kind of situation.
Mm.
Like think about how I remember me and Ak were talking about this. How when you in the Young Boy show, it was like 90% black, maybe 95%.
Yeah.
Male, female. It wasn't like a sea of white people at all. At all, really. Like I was one of the few white people, like literally in the stadium.
Yeah, and that almost says something positive or negative because it kind of says a lot when the fan base for like the most popular street rapper is not necessarily like extending to the fringes of people outside of his culture. Because you know, even like I've seen a lot of subcultures die. I'm a BMX dude. There was a point where I looked at the vert podium for a contest and realized like, oh, everybody who's medaling in these contests is well into their 30s. That doesn't bode well for the future of this activity when people are just kind of like aging out of it. And I think that, you know, even when I was going to bring my wife to the Young Boy show before she eventually opted out of it, she said, I don't even know a single song. And if you rewind the clock 10 years, there was tons of rappers that I probably would have gone to see in concert where she knew all kinds of songs because Bad and Bougie is the biggest single 10 years ago. And, you know, she knows all these Lil Pump songs and Smoke Perp songs and X and Juice WRLD, etc. It's like, I've seen subcultures collapse, even musically. Like I watched a documentary the other day about what like thrash and heavy metal was like in the 80s. There was a time when this shit was like some of the biggest music on the charts.
Yeah.
And people kind of lost interest, and it's still big on a niche level. There's bands that have huge followings, but from a mainstream perspective, you would basically have no idea that heavy metal exists.
Well,
that could happen to rap.
You gotta have the anthems. You gotta have the big songs. Like when we think past our lives, like you think of Bad and Bougie, like that was a huge song. It was just a huge song. It got bigger than hip hop. It got bigger than music. And you saw it in TV and people, you know, there's a whole dialogue around it, and then the whole, remember, does it look like I got left off of Bad Bougie? Like, you know, the viral moment with Joe Budden and Academics. Like, it was a whole thing. NBA Youngboy doesn't have those types of anthems. Maybe he just wrote it and he's about to drop it. I don't know. But at this point, he hasn't.
He's so successful with his cult fan base that he almost has no incentive to do that.
Cardi doesn't have an anthem like that. Think about that. As Cardi, has he ever broken into the top 10? Has he had a top 10 song ever?
Maybe him in the weekend with the new song.
Nah, his song, not him featuring that, not him doing a verse on someone else's shit. His song.
I wouldn't say top 10, but I know Magnolia was big.
Evil Jordan peaked at #2 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Oh, word.
Which is surprising.
All right. Okay, so there we go. Evil Jordan. Is that the who's on that?
Just him.
Just him?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Great song, gotta say.
Okay, so how long did it stay on there though?
I doubt very long.
You see what I'm saying? It may have probably when the album dropped and
the hype is there.
Yeah, everyone's going crazy over it.
Also, you could mention the song to all kinds of normies. Nobody knows what the song is. This is for his fans and maybe some hip hop fans in general, but for the most part, that's for his cult.
Right. I mean, think about the songs that you just see. Like Taylor Swift is completely dominating the chart right now. Like the Spotify, on my way here,
It's
I was
all
going
her.
through the chart.
Yeah.
The first like 15 slots are Taylor Swift.
You listen to it?
Yeah, some of it.
I love it.
A couple of songs I like.
A lot of people hating it. I think it's
Really?
amazing. Yeah.
I like Taylor Swift. I appreciate artistically what she's doing.
Me too. I'm a huge fan now.
Yeah. So
I can't even deny it anymore. Now I'm just nuts over it. I love her now.
Nah, but for example, that's not bots. Like people are really with it.
But the thing that is a little weird is just the fact that her fans buy so much vinyl that it really skews her
No, I don't think so.
popularity.
I'm talking about the Spotify charts.
Right, but I'm just saying that
nothing to do with vinyl.
she did 3 million first week is what she's predicted to do. Drake did 300K. So
3 million.
granted, she would be way bigger than Drake either way.
Triple platinum on week 1.
But the vinyl skews it in her favor massively.
but
She's putting out
still-
10 colors of these things.
Okay, I got it. But still, she's dominating the Spotify
For sure,
charts.
yeah.
Like it's one thing because that was the one thing I remember how Tekashi was getting all these views on his videos that he dropped after he got out of jail, but the charts weren't showing that. That's why I'm like, I think he's just advertising on the YouTube side. It's not organically growing to what it is. So like a Playboy Cardi, okay, he got to number 2 because he has a rabid fan base that they want to hear the album, but it doesn't stay at number. Evil Jordan is not an anthem of this year. It came out this year or early this year.
The kids know it, like I know it. Like a lot of it, it's there, but it's not like it don't sound like the old classic songs that we would consider hits. You see what I'm saying?
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
like an underground.
But hits in that sense are just such a vanishing thing in general too, because it's just like we don't listen to the radio, we don't have
Taylor Swift
MTV,
make hits.
right? But also everybody that I interview this month, as well as all of the No Jumper hosts, probably will not even hear one of those Taylor Swift songs.
Oh, the rest of the world will.
Yeah, but I'm saying like if you like my girl has said that to me like, oh, is everybody at work talking about Taylor Swift? I'm like, Munchie B has no reason to know that Taylor Swift exists. He is in his own closed information space where he doesn't have to listen to anything that goes outside of gangster rap.
Right. Now I got it, but at the end of the day, imagine if Playboy Cardi had the type of songs that Taylor has.
If he had a Bad and Bougie.
Right. If he had a Bad and Bougie.
But apparently he just don't even give a because he could be silently working on these types of songs, you know. Don't really matter to him.
I don't know, man. I mean, Swamp Izzo, I did an interview with him. It sounds like they're doing exactly what they want to be doing.
Yeah, and a huge hit like that is almost a liability because Shake It Off is the biggest Taylor Swift song ever, and I've seen how her fan base reacts to that song. It's so catchy that everybody likes it, and as a result, it's almost like a negative to her cult fan base.
Man, I'm sure she's thrilled she got Shake It Off.
Well, because the whole new album is Shake It Off. The whole album sounds poppy as with the album before that was 30 songs of her doing poetry.
People like to act like they don't want massive success when really everyone's chasing it in their own way. So
yeah,
this whole thing of too much success, I don't know, man. But at the end of the day, if there is imagine a 30 or younger Taylor Swift in hip hop, it just doesn't exist.
Yeah,
it doesn't. You would see more of a mixed crowd at NBA YoungBoy. You see what I'm saying? You see like Asian people, and you see that type of thing. And I think that he's just killing it in how he's doing it.
Yeah.
And who's going to tell someone at that point to do something different? We'll see. We'll see what happens, though.
I haven't lost hope in hip hop at all. I just feel like, if anything, this sort of like downturn, which, I mean, think about SoundCloud rap in 2016. In a large part, that was kind of like a reaction to the fact that the mainstream rap world had kind of lost a lot of steam in the early 2010s because of the fact that streaming hadn't fully taken over, CDs were done, and that kind of like created a very compelling environment for rap. You had the ASAP mobs and the Action Bronsons and the white girl mobs, all these. Yeah, I got you. We're gonna go take the photo real quick, but I'm just saying, I think if there is a downturn in hip hop, there will ultimately be a reaction to it in which hip hop kind of gets more exciting again.
I agree. Hip hop forever, baby.
Shout out my man Vlad. Shout out to Remo for co-hosting. Vlad's got to go make a call, and we got to take a photo real quick. But thank you to everybody who watched this. No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Like, comment, and subscribe. Become a member before we put you in the blender. Oh, I'm gonna keep saying that. Appreciate y'all.